He's gay. Excuse me, he's blind.
You ready?
Oh, wait. So we're just going to wing it?
There's a big difference between winging it and seeing what happens. Now let's see what happens.
And now.
Right now.
And now, it's Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
And I be teaching them northern plight like on the 10-pound test. Smoke cess, never fast, take a guess. I be the early morning stone pimp. Straight limping, rules from drinking. At the party, big booty pinching. Chilling like a villain. Balloon filling, whack MC killing. The fine hoe drilling with the $1 million talent and the 10-cent brain.
Been gone too long, too much cocaine.
But now that I'm back on the block, I'm ready to rock left to right all night. My game's tight, I wish you might take a bite out of this here toxic, melodic, neurotic product, fresh from the harvest. Who be the largest, hardest, smartest label in town? Top dog,
Get down.
If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. If it is raining on a Monday morning, the world should be closed down. It is just not right. It's just not right. Everybody looks like zombies walking around this morning. I am John Senning. This is Senning Show. That man over there knows how to stop a shark with one hand, and don't try to argue with him about it.
Dead in its tracks.
He has the Lazy Ass Podcast. His name is Dizzy.
Reporting for duty, sir.
What was was it an alligator story that started the fight about the shark, or was it a shark story?
No, we started talking about the girl who fell off the cruise ship and treading water, and then something about a shark attack, and I was like, they're not stopping a shark on its nose.
Yeah, we're gonna dig into that for that thing today at 1:30, because those are my, and I don't want to get too much into it. And this one's good, but they are my favorite news stories ever. Like just the idea of thinking about that is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
That happens as much as it does, and just the human element of what you feel when you end up going overboard on a cruise is one of the wildest things that I think happens in our civilization. So we'll dig into that at 1:30. Lot to get to today. I don't know. It must be the I don't know if it's the rain. I don't know if I went a little bit harder this past weekend than I normally do, but I feel like I've been dreaming ever since I woke up. Like it feels like
You've been on autopilot.
Yeah, a little bit. And I automatically feel better now that the show is starting, to be honest with you. Did have a little bit of a rowdier weekend, maybe at least a Friday night. If you'd like to participate in the program, we absolutely love it. 800-771-1025. Hit us up on social media at the John Senning, at Dizzy for Mayor, and we're streaming live video, baby. Always on YouTube and the Bone Facebook. I think Bone Online's still a thing as well. So Friday night was fun, and we made a couple stops. We went out to the Slightly Stupid Iration Little Stranger show, which we were running so late. I mean, really, one of the main reasons I wanted to be out there was to see Little Stranger. Totally missed him. Didn't even make it out there. Didn't see him for a second. I don't know if it was probably my fault. I think I was leisurely getting ready and thinking that I had plenty of time, and not grasping the fact that it was going to take us 45 minutes to an hour to get out there. But it was still a really good time. Have you been to the Sound over in Clearwater yet?
Not since they switched and moved
dude,
it used to be Coachman Park.
Yeah. Dude, you got to check out a show there one day. It really is, I would say, in the conversation for the best venue in Tampa Bay area now. The Bay Care Sound. I mean, it sits right there on the water. So funny. I guess funny, not funny. When you come in, all these people out there protesting Scientology, which
what?
I thought the Scientologists had it on. I don't know why I sounded like I was Italian. I don't know why the Scientologists.
Let me tell you.
I thought they kind of ran stuff in Clearwater, so I would have thought they would have had their crew go over and yoke them up and take them away or something. But dude, tons of like Scientology is a cult. Scientology is bad for children. All these people parading around the streets when we first got down there, and saw tons of great people. I have to say, I think you experienced it your night out at Whiskey Willie's. My new favorite thing in life is getting a vroom out in public. And that touches me very, very deeply into my soul, and that's the reggae type crowd is absolutely our crew, and saw tons of great people out there. It was a great show, and we hung for quite a bit. I text you. Sometimes I'll either text Danielle things or I'll text you things that happened over the weekend or just in life that I want to make sure I don't forget. And dude, getting in the Uber we were going from the Sound to downtown St. Pete, and we get in, and I've replayed it in my mind a million times. I don't know what I could have done differently, and I'm not going to make an excuse and say I was buzzed, even though I was, because I don't know that it had tons to do with what happened. But we get in. This dude had a super nice car. I don't know what it was. I want to say it was a Tesla because he had, like, right in the middle center console, it was like a giant screen.
Oh.
So we get in, and the dude is on the big center screen, has a DJ performance on the big screen. So it's like, and there's there's a DJ, and it's like a huge crowd. And I sit down, and I immediately go, I start talking to him. I go, is this live? I don't know why that's what I said, but I go, is this live? And he goes, no. And he was not very talkative, which you'll learn as I tell the story. And then I start watching it, and then I start watching the video, and I start looking at the DJ. And then I'm kind of turning my head over at the driver, and I'm looking at the video, and I'm looking at the DJ. I go, oh, my God, is that you? And he said something to me that I thought in that moment was yes, was not yes.
Oh, no.
So then I start asking him all these questions about, like, how long he's been a DJ and where this show was. I learned fairly quickly that the guy did not speak much English.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, presses the button, put that guy in a lineup, and Diz just showed me a picture of the guy. I would think that was my Uber driver. I think
really
it had. I would think that was my Uber driver. I think
really
it had nothing to do with the fact that they both happen to be Latino gentlemen. It had everything to do with the fact that guy, I'm still not certain, was not my Uber driver.
The guy was Spanish as well?
He was, and he had the beard. Dude, he had the beard just like that, like the super crispy beard and everything. But it was just really funny that
So you're like, is that you? And he's like, no. You go, how long you been DJing?
Yes, that's pretty much what happened. And again, my wife, God love her, had a better grasp of what was going on than I did. Because when we got, she's like, he told you no right away. And I think I had just already made my mind up that it was him, that I just barreled through with my questions about his DJ career before he could finally, like, bring up a logo and go, no, this is who this is. This is them. This is them. And that was always fun. Dude, the Ubers, like, give me anxiety these days. I don't know what it is. I don't want to drive, and I knew that we were going to be out, and I haven't even had a horrific experience in a while. It's just such a gamble when you get in people's cars. It's always such a, I'm just so, I don't know, just being, like, because that's not a short drive. I mean, we went from Clearwater to St. Pete. I think when we got into the car, it was like 34 minutes. And my first thought was, we're going to be sitting with this dude for 34 minutes. What the hell? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? We made it alive, and everything was fine. I tell you, I'm dragging today, and it could be because Friday night somebody busted out the Rumplemint shots.
The Rumplemint?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Dude, it was.
That is disgusting, bro.
It was Sam and Alex Tito's, Alex, St. Pete Sam, her husband is moving for his job with Tito's, but his Tito's crew threw a party for him on Friday night downtown. And they had been passing around these shots of Tito's lemon drops.
Okay.
You can do a lemon drop,
Yeah.
That's fun. A little lemon drop, no problem. And then without a word, without any announcement that they had made the segue from lemon drops to Rumplemints, somebody brings them over, and by the time it was already down my gut, it was too late. It was too late to go back. And dude, we've talked about it before. Rumplemints and Jaeger and probably Goldschlager, and some people have some other ones. They have the capability to change the course of your life, to change the course of your life and your night. Like, you could be cruising along and everything's fine. Somebody introduces a Jaeger bomb or some Goldschlager or a Rumplemints, and it's just the guy who ordered, I go, why would you do that? I said, why would you do that? He goes, well, I've got a 100% blackout rate on Rumplemints, and that's where I'm trying to head tonight. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to head there tonight. That is not where I'm trying to head.
Rumplemints is one of those things, when I see the photo of the bottle, it makes me sick because I could taste the peppermint schnapps, and it's just the worst.
Dude, the hangover from a Rumplemints is like nothing else. For me, it creates like this pressure in my head. Like, it's almost like a rumbling, and we weren't even out. I kept it. It could have been a lot worse. I'll say that. But when I woke up on Saturday, we were out at Furman Ford. And my head was My head was vibrating on the insides just a little bit. And, dude, I got so good when we got to Furman Ford. And it was a great day. I sat in with Mike O for 2 hours. We had a hell of a show. I had a great time. So we get out there, and and they have a beautiful new, everything's new. They have a new showroom, but they have this new service department that is just crazy. It's a whole empire over there on the side where it's all enclosed. So the guys that are working on cars, it's all air conditioned. It's this huge area. So they went to give us a tour. This lovely young lady gave us a tour, me and Mike Cernak. She's showing us all the different things. They take us back to the part room. They're showing me all this technology they've got where they store the tires. Vroom, vroom. They're on like these big carousels that go up to the ceiling. And then the girl that's giving us a tour does not know me, does not know really what's going on. She gets a phone call, and she goes, okay. I can hear her, just her. She goes, okay, the guy from the radio? I'm like, what the hell is going on? She goes, okay, we'll be right there. We'll get right up there. And so she hangs up, and she's like, we have to go. We're like in the middle of this tour. I'm like, is everything okay? She goes, well, I don't know what I should say, but there's a process server here to serve you legal papers. And I go, what? And immediately my mind goes, no. She goes, yeah, no, that was the crew from inside. At this point, I'm not questioning a bunch. Like I thought maybe her wording was wrong, but she's telling me, oh yeah, my coworkers inside said somebody's at the front desk looking for you, and it's somebody to serve you papers.
And you were like, pull me up to the front. I'd be like, get me out of here. What are you talking about?
That was the thing, and so the fun fact about this little thing that happened was the walk. So we're like in the back of this giant, I don't even know what to call it. It's just
like a warehouse?
It's a warehouse structure. And we've got to walk all the way across it up to the front into the building. So we had a bit of a stroll. And during this time, I'm talking out loud to her and Mike Cernak. Like, I don't know what I did. I don't know what this could be about.
Yeah.
She's like, well, do you have any bills that are outstanding or anything? I'm like, I don't think so. So my mind immediately starts going to, for some strange reason, things that we've done on the show.
It's so funny because you're over here just yelling out things that it could be, and she's probably like, damn, what's up with this?
She's like, this man is a criminal.
Yeah.
So I'm just running through potential scenarios of what could be going on. I'm like, for some reason, this is the dumbest thing ever. For some reason, and maybe it's a good sign that I just don't have a bunch of reasons I could have been getting served papers for, I start thinking about us calling the fast food workers. And I start thinking to myself, did we break the law when we called those fast food people? Like, that is legitimately where my mind is going. So we go on this long walk where I'm breaking down, trying to figure out why I'm about to be served papers. And I go up to where the tent is, where Heather and all the promo crew are, and they don't really know what I'm talking about. They're like, oh, yeah, the guy's inside.
Yeah.
And finally, I make it inside. Dude, and there's Patrick Smith. There's the attorney Patrick Smith, who just conjured up this entire idea.
So he told them. They didn't know they were on the show?
No, they didn't know either.
That's
they didn't
hilarious.
Know that, and I think that was the part.
Yeah.
Is that it was delivered to them and everybody else as if it was real. Because I kept asking her, I'm like, you're sure it's me? She's like, yeah, they kept saying the guy from the radio with the beard. And I'm like, okay, I guess maybe I am being served papers here today.
You're better than me because, again, I would have been gone. You would have been like, I'm being served. Okay, I'm leaving out the back.
Well, I also had
Patrick would have been standing there like an idiot waiting for me.
I had to be there for 3 hours. What would I have done? That would have been even funnier, though. If she tells me that and I just run out the back and it was a joke, they're like, oh, you had a whole remote and a live broadcast to be a part of. They were just like, where are you, man? I'm like, I had to go. I don't think I've ever been served papers.
Neither have I. But if someone told me someone's waiting to serve you papers, I would have left. And I would have called Mike Olivero and John Bray and be like, apparently I'm being served. I don't know what for. I'm not going to lie. I ran. I don't want to go back. Please don't make me go back. Can we work this out? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but needless to say, I was not being served papers, even though at one point I was absolutely certain that I was. And shout out to Patrick Smith, who sat in for the whole Mike O radio show. We had a nice little a nice little time out there.
Patrick, man, good job, Patrick.
Yeah, I gotta
Kudos,
say,
bro.
He's a good guy. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Oh, this is Travis. Now, about the Uber thing, yeah, Uber's terrible, dude. If I work for United Taxi, bro. If you want to take me off the line and get a personal driver, bro, I got you. I'm one of the homies.
Oh,
I work 7 days a week.
I would do that. I would absolutely do that. If you hold tight, I will take your number.
Also, I want you to be my personal driver too, so I'm gonna take your number too.
Oh no, he's full vroom vroom, dude. He's the vroom vroom on deck, dude. That's my Tom the Tree Man right there.
Vroom vroom on deck,
dude. He's that's my new Tom. I need to know him a little bit more, but
we just got to get a Sprinter, and now we're good.
Exactly. I had a guy for a minute, and he totally ghosted me.
Really?
We were taking a Uber out to, I think, like Reggae Rise Up or something in Vinoy. And I know this is super frowned upon in the Uber community, but the guy gave me his card and he was like, dude, don't go through Uber next time. Just go through me.
Yeah.
And I think he took me on like 2 or 3 rides, and it was so great because you just don't have again, I have not had a horrific Uber.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get in them, they smell. Sometimes the car is old. Nothing, they're just awkward depending on how far you got to go. You get a guy that won't talk, won't turn on the radio, and you're just sitting there. So the unknown of the Uber is a thing to me. And this guy, he was my guy for a minute, and then just completely stopped responding to my text when I would hit him up.
You were abusing him.
I don't know if I was abusing him. I don't know if he moved out of town. I don't know what happened. But
maybe he got served.
That's my new guy right there. Hey, what was your name again?
Travis.
Okay. Are you a trustworthy guy? I mean, are you ready to join a lifestyle with us, to be there through sickness and through health, through drunkenness and soberness and everything in between?
I've been there and done that, and I'm down for more, brother.
All right. What kind of hours can you work? I mean, what kind of hours do you work? If I need a ride late night,
anything, dude.
To 2:30.
Wake me up.
Let's run through a scenario here, Travis. I ask you to pick me up at 4:00 in the morning, and you pull up to a strange house in a rough part of town, and I come out with what to you looks like a body wrapped up in plastic wrap and maybe like a rug. And then I'm like, hey, I got to put something in your truck or your trunk. What is the likelihood that you will contact the police?
I'm no harm, no foul, man. You see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. I'm not, whatever you got in that bag is your business now. I'm just a taxi driver.
So let me ask you this, Travis. Me and John are leaving an event, and we get in the car with 2 ladies that appear to not be Danielle and Nicole. Are you keeping your eyes on the road, or are you texting people what you see?
Whatever you guys want me to do, I got you, bro. I'm very loyal.
Dude,
he's a vroom vroom ride or die.
That's what I've heard about Tom the Tree Man. This is our. Do you have any other things?
I'd
like to give you a cool. Maybe it's too early in our relationship for me to give you like a proper moniker, but like, what kind of things are you into? Are you into any sort of bushes or trees or plants or anything?
I got my. I don't want to say too much on here.
Oh, okay. I get where you're headed with that.
Yeah.
I meant more like other things. Like, what are your other hobbies?
I used to do armed security, so I used to be real heavy into firearms and suppressors. I love music. Alice in Chains is my favorite band.
Okay, I'm not going to hold that against you. Travis,
man.
Travie the Gunman.
Travie the Gunman.
Yeah,
that's our guy.
What size
I'm such a lover, though. I'm such a.
What size is your vehicle? You have a big vehicle, a small vehicle? Can you fit the vroom vroom fam in? Or?
Yeah, that's a good
question. Like it's a retired cop car. I work for a taxi company.
So it's like, does that mean it's a Crown Vic?
Yeah, no. It's a Taurus, Ford Taurus.
Okay, Ford Taurus. I'm gonna need to tour the property. All right, no further questions at this time.
I like it.
I mean, so far so good. Why do I have a feeling now other independent drivers are gonna call up and we're gonna pit him against Travie the Gunman? Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this? Hello, 732.
Me, Andrea. Hello.
Hey, Andrea. Is that a good old fashioned New Jersey number you got there?
It is Keensburg. Wow, that's good.
I know. I happen to have one of those Jersey ladies at my home. She's my wife, not like in my basement.
That's why I was calling, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I'm an Uber driver. I don't do cash Ubers, but I would never. You had me with the body. Like, I don't know why I would call the cops on that, but. If you're in the car with Dizzy with 2 girls that aren't your wives, we got a problem.
Yeah, I would say I was almost offended that Dizzy laid that out there. That's not my style.
Oh, okay.
So.
Sorry
for. I don't think that's not the kind of driver you need.
Yeah,
you need somebody who's got your back.
Dude, that's a good point.
That's a good point. Back. You're siding with her now?
No, I am. I need a driver that's going to be a moral compass.
Oh, okay.
Well,
well, you ride with her. I'll ride with Trav, the gunman.
Yeah, you've brought up a good
Go
point
ahead.
here. You've brought up a good
Yeah.
point. So you said we're good with the body, but any sort of infidelity or adultery you're not going to be okay with.
Yeah, no. And
That's-
we vape in the car. We can do anything we want in the car. It doesn't matter what you do in the car.
Okay. I think. Yeah, Andrea,
Just
I think
saying.
you may be.
No, I don't like it.
You ain't got any hoes.
Especially you. I didn't even like the hypothetical.
Well, I mean, I'm an upstanding man with a strong moral compass.
Yeah, but it's a hypothetical.
Murder is one thing.
Oh, okay. Adultery, totally different thing. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. Senning Show, you're live on the air. You're live on the air.
JP turning on me, John turning on me. I'm just.
Dude, you don't even know how to get a shark. Just, I mean, what do you think you're doing here? Senning Show, who's this?
Yeah, is this me?
Yeah, this is you. Are you looking to
hey,
be the Vroom Vroom lead driver?
I absolutely am, man. You are your caliber of celebrity and Dizzy and Drew, for that matter, is far above a Ford Taurus. I've got I have over 1,100 rides.
Oh, he has a fleet.
A perfect 5-star rating,
Oh,
and
man.
I drive an Audi A6 with the brown guts, as they say, the caramel colored leather.
Yeah.
It's tuned. It's got 450 horsepower, but we don't have to do that unless you want a vroom vroom.
Oh, dude, sometimes I want a vroom vroom. Sometimes you got to vroom vroom.
Will you call out adultery? Because you're in, apparently, if you'll do that. So
No, listen, man. I could give you guys a couple of stories, but I'm zipped up, man. Whatever happens in the car stays in the car.
All right,
listen, we got to have all you guys hold on the line, and then we're going to have some scavenger race hunt, and then whoever wins
an actual race.
Yeah.
Dude, that will
It's
be
like
fun.
wacky races.
Yeah, you got to go and like pick us. It won't really be us,
Yeah.
but it'll be like you have
Like
to
a
make
dummy
it from
version,
here to
yeah.
here to there and make sure you can make it there. But thank you to all of our potential drivers out there. It really means a lot. Dude, I have to know. And I missed it this morning, but from what I understand, Everett called the Mike Calta show this morning.
Oh.
I know that Ian was in the building, and I'm sure they talked about it. I don't know if they talked good and or bad about it, but you went to Everett's comedy showcase at the Dignitary Cafe over the weekend. I want you to be honest.
Okay.
I want you to be honest. Don't hurt Everett too much, but be honest.
So I left for the thing, and Nicole couldn't come, and I told her, I was like, I'm probably not staying that long. I'm going to go till Everett's on,
Yeah.
and then I'll leave. Got there for the show. Some Bone fam were out there.
I saw Jared. I saw Ride or Die
yeah.
TV was out there.
He was out there.
It feels really offensive to say to Everett, but I was going to say, man, if I knew he was there, I might have come out. But I love you, Everett.
So pull up, and as the show starts, the guy's like, we got 8 comedians. I turned to my boy. I go, there's 8? I don't want to stay here for 8.
I will say,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even known of a.
Yeah.
I mean, how much time can each comedian get with was there 8 on that flyer?
I think there was, yeah.
Oh, maybe I didn't realize. When you say
Maybe
8
there's
out,
7,
when you
maybe.
say 8 out loud, it
Yeah.
feels like a big commitment to the night.
So
How was the crowd? Did you really paint the picture of the crowd? Was it full? As full as you've seen it over there?
I would say there was about 20 people, a little over 20 people there, which
Okay.
is pretty good
Okay.
considering all things considered. I would believe there was about 7. No idea a comedy show was going on.
Oh, they were just
like,
there in their
Yeah,
in the,
just
in the
turned
Kratom
around.
Kava zone, and they were like, "Oh, people are
Yeah.
here."
So the first guy that went up, he started telling jokes that felt like, did you get these off a popsicle? And they're just like adult popsicle jokes, and you're using that and then just kind of reacting to them? Because, like, it just seemed very cliche.
Do you
But they were-
remember one joke that he told?
No, it was something about, like, let's put it this way. He'll be like, oh, yeah, I had a hard time in school, mostly because my teacher was, raping me. And then we're like, oh, okay. And he goes, yeah, the worst part was it's a guy.
Yeah.
And then we're like,
I think this guy's great so far. Dude, when's the bad part start?
He got mad because, like, he would tell these jokes and no one was laughing. He goes, all right, well, the jokes are going to be dark, people, so you got to be with us.
Dude, that is, I don't know what you're supposed to do in comedy and what you're not supposed to do. It feels like acknowledging the moments that nobody laughs is not the thing you should do. And I've seen a bunch of people on Kill Tony and even in person where they kind of go, oh, you don't like that one, or
Yeah.
oh, I thought that was a good one. You go, well, you're making it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just keep on moving and hope you hit something that makes them laugh. Don't focus on the fact that nobody's laughing.
There was one point where he got on the subject of D's.
D's, like D's,
penises.
wieners. Yeah.
And this one black guy who was not there for the show, but he kind of turned around. And he goes, "Are we talking D's?"
Yeah.
like question out loud. Everyone, like, it got a pop from the crowd.
Oh, the guy at the rando at the bar got a bigger laugh than the comedian.
Exactly, and that's what started to become the downfall, because then they kind of like played to the heckler, and the heckler was so much funnier than the guys up on stage.
No, wait. So that guy kept it going. He was a part of almost every set.
Every set kind of like talked to him or had a back and forth because he was funny.
So I'm sorry if you already said this. Did you make it through all 8?
All 8. Because so the first
long?
one happened and it was bad. I go, okay, let's see what the second one. Second one was kind of nervous. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. And I was like, I've got to see all 8.
Yeah. So, I mean, what was the time commitment? I mean, 8, was it a couple hours? Was it 6 hours?
I would say they all did almost about 5 minutes.
Oh, that's it. Oh,
yeah,
damn.
yeah.
So they were short.
Yeah,
okay.
they didn't
so
feel
like
too
15,
long.
20 minutes.
Exactly. So out of all 8, there was one guy who looked, the best I could explain him, he looked like Weird Al Yankovic if he was like a cowboy. And
I'm trying to get the flyer up here. I wanted to look at their faces to see if I could bring their names. I will tell you, my computer, you got Twitter up over there?
Yeah.
X will not open over here, but carry on.
So yeah, he brought some energy and he started to get the crowd back in it, and it was just a matter of like who went where, because like he started to get the crowd back, and then the guy who went back lost the crowd.
Lost them again.
Yeah. And we're like, oh.
Where was Everett in all of this?
I want to say Everett was second last.
Second, okay.
Yeah.
Like co-headliner, as you'd say.
Yeah, he wasn't bad. Everett's definitely an improver. You could tell he was nervous.
Yeah.
And I think he was nervous because of how the crowd was reacting.
And there's like the tie into the station with Ian, and I'm sure he knows that with you there and it being Ian's place, that this is going to be, you bomb somewhere on a Tuesday night, no one really knows about it.
Yeah.
If he were to bomb there, then it was going to be talked about first thing Monday morning, and then obviously here eventually. So
that's a good point. So he did pretty good. For me, out of 8, Everett was the top 3 for me.
Oh, really?
He was in the top 3.
Oh, that's pretty. Those are good numbers.
The closer was whoever he got to close. He was good. He seemed comfortable. He was pretty consistent. And then the pirate cowboy looking guy, he was like second. And then Everett, I would say, was third.
Yeah, well, that's pretty good. So
Yeah.
you would say there were some bombs, but there were a few glimmers of hope in there, Everett being one of them.
Yes. There was too much of, I'm not trying to give notes to the comics, but like the crowd wasn't giving much, and they were trying to get the crowd involved.
Like
but
crowd working them,
Yeah.
and they just weren't really biting.
They weren't. And I was like, oh, just step away. Do your bit, dog. Do your
Yeah.
bit. So, but it wasn't bad. It was honestly the best part was just watching these guys bomb. And hearing people, like the guy I brought from the podcast, Drew, he was with me, and like when guys were like going and you could tell the joke wasn't going, he would lean over to me and goes, "Oh man, they're still going, they're still going. Why would you do this?" So that was pretty fun of it. But
do you think, if you were a betting man, do you think that the comedy night will return to the Dignitary Cafe?
Yeah, I think Everett, especially because Ian wasn't there to know that. Like,
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't want to read too much into this. I assumed Ian was there all the time.
So did I.
Yeah. I don't know what that means. That when you told me that Ian wasn't there, I was like, oh, damn. He was like, I'm trying to distance myself from this thing.
I text him. I go, "You here for the event?" And he goes, "What event?" And then I didn't respond because I was busy. He goes, "Oh, the comedy thing?"
Yeah.
He goes, "No, I'm in Ruskin. Enjoy that." And I text him back like 10 minutes later. I go, "You missed the right one." I think Everett, now knowing what it is and what the atmosphere can be like, he'll be like, less comics, focus on people who could probably play to this type of crowd.
And I texted him this morning because I didn't hear. I just asked him, how did it go? And his review was not really that far off of yours. I mean, to be honest, it was. I think he knew what was going on. So
I told Nicole it was good she missed it.
Yeah, keep on, man. You got to start somewhere. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
I can't believe Dizzy has dissed me already.
Well, why would I don't know that Dizzy would diss the Cajun Cowboy. What happened? Were you performing at the Dignitary Cava house? Why did he diss you?
No. I took him and his crew to the cruise ship that one time.
Oh,
and
the Cajun Cowboy was your.
If you ever need me again, let me know. And now y'all interviewing folks.
Oh, dude,
that was 2 years ago, and I forgot about that. And I don't know if you're vroom vrooming like the others we just got.
Are you want to put your hat in the running? You already have the cool name.
He never got us to Gumbo, and you want us to feel sure that he's going to drive us?
Well, that that can come later. He probably rolls around with a big vat of gumbo in the trunk all the time.
I'll tell you that. If you do something like that, you are in the runnings now.
Are you a driver? Like, is that part of your resume, or was this just a one-off thing that you did, and now you're trying to go full time?
I'm already at $178.
Like
what
for
does
the
that
year?
mean? Yeah, what $178? What?
We could retire now.
Yeah.
For the day.
Oh, you're out there today. So you're running Uber on the daily.
What time have you been out there since?
About 7 o'clock.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a damn fine day. All right, Cajun Cowboy, you're back in the loop. Sometimes I wonder, like, if you dedicated. It is a crazy world that we live in that is kind of there as an option. Like
yeah.
You talk about getting jobs and what other jobs are out there. Like, if you woke up every day and you put in a good 8 hours in between driving Uber Eats and just driving people around, like, how much money could you really make? Because I think
he just said, what, 6 hours, and he's only at 100 and something?
180. $200 since...
$200?
I mean, that's not great. That's not great. I'm sure it has a lot to do with where you're driving and how far you're willing to. I wonder who makes more money on the daily, people drivers or Uber Eats drivers?
Uber Eats.
Oh, you think so?
No. I think you're right with the people. Well, yeah, with the people. Because you're wasting less time because you don't have to go in and wait for, like, if it's not ready, you got to wait for it. You know what I mean?
Like, you're driving people and you're working and then you're done and then you're back onto it rather than having it. I always wonder and I always feel so bad.
I feel like people tip better because they're in the car with you. Whereas in Uber Eats, they're like, I might not see you because you got to leave it at the door. $2, dog.
Yeah, maybe. But I always feel bad when I order food and I see the guy and it's like, oh, they're waiting for your order. Like, is this guy getting any form of payment as he's waiting the 35 minutes outside of the restaurant that's taking too long? I'm sure you get a bad rating for it. Once I've waited 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm just canceling the order.
10 minutes? Once I wait 5 minutes, I'm out.
I'm saying, like, if I've got to pick up somebody's food and deliver it to them, at some point it probably becomes not worth your trouble. But I would imagine Uber Eats ranks you on how many orders you're canceling. If you're canceling orders all the time, they're probably like, okay, that's a little.
Yeah, I'm sure if you cancel a rating, can't the people still rate you and be like, well, you canceled my order? 1.
Yeah, but I bet you there's that and there's whatever Uber does. Like, if you're just canceling orders all the time, then Uber probably gives you a lower rating. I would think. And
also, I feel like the smart idea, and I feel like most people probably do this, they just hang around by the airport. Flights are coming in. Oh, let me drop you here.
When you get a long run. I think that may be a secret, too, is you do the airport thing, and you got somebody that needs to go, down to Sarasota or something, and then you're getting an hour plus run and just doing that. You're just doing that all day. Do not go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to dig into that thing. We already kind of alluded to it. I say it's one of my favorite types of stories, which sounds morbid, but just the idea that people fall over the edge of cruise ships, it's terrifying. I wonder what they're thinking in those moments when they hit the water. This story is the evolution of all that. Not just one, but 2 human beings overboard. Did they make it? Who were they? We'll tell you next on More Senning Show.
No matter what you're going through, what you say, me and you, just take it slow and easy. Don't worry about nothing, no.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Download the free Bone app to listen to us anywhere. Sponsored by Mark Spain Real Estate.
Get your guaranteed offer at markspain.com.
Where exactly do you think you're going? You're abandoning me, your beloved, exquisitely plush couch. Look, these feet are handcrafted mahogany. Put that Heineken's back. Do you really want to go to that concert? Wouldn't it be infinitely better to stay here with me? Look, I have a perfect imprint of your posterior. Please, don't go!
Don't listen to your couch. Head to a concert with some friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
At Bernetti PA, our team will tell you that our number one priority is striving for the best customer service in the industry. I'm honored by the number of referrals we get from our current and past clients. They trust us. Why shouldn't you? Call 1-800-BURNETTI. We're ready. Offices Tampa, Lakeland, Pinellas.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-498-6548. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-498-6548. That's 800-498-6548. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Raise a Big Daddy mug this summer at Hooters. Bud and Bud Light Big Daddies for just $6. Or Mick Ultra for $6.50. Big beers, better deals. Only at Hooters. 11 locations in Tampa Bay. Go to originalhooters.com for one near you.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. When we place our loved ones in a nursing home, we expect them to receive the best care. We meet with families who learn that their mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers have been terribly abused in nursing homes. Bed sores, malnutrition, broken bones, dehydration, and yes, even death. If you believe that a loved one has been abused or neglected while living in a nursing home, call us. The consultation is free.
Offices Tampa, St. Petersburg.
Think selling your home is stressful? Try picking the wrong agent. Choose right the first time. Call Jeff Borum of Team Borum with eXp Realty and see how his cutting-edge marketing can get you the most money for your home. Call Jeff at 813-344-4287 or go online at jeffborum.com. That's jeffborum.com and start packing.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
COVID-19 has cast a spotlight on the stark inequalities that drive poverty. The poorest communities in the U.S. and around the world are suffering the most. Oxfam believes we can put systems in place to protect health and livelihoods in the future if we work together with dignity and compassion. Learn how you can help offer safety to the most vulnerable and fight for a more resilient future at oxfamamerica.org. Sponsored by Oxfam America.
When it really matters, choose Farrah & Farrah. Here for you, here for good. Tampa.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
You might know nothing, but at least you'll know that thing. Brought to you by Just Call Mo, Tampa's injury attorney. That thing. It's time for That Thing, right now on Senning Show.
1, 2, you know what to do. Came way from the bottom. I going up and never stopping. My, no worries about falling. When I hit the ground, just bass, drop it. To the end of time, we go. Pioneers who broke the mold. Countdown.
Welcome back to Senning Show. The windows are closed, but I assume still a rainy, gloomy Monday. Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit in the joints, but man, the 4th of July weekend looking like it could be a wet one. A potential tropical system developing near and or around the state of Florida. Nothing to freak out about, but might make our 4th of July weekend not so pretty.
Do you have plans for the 4th of July?
I do, actually. We made insane last-minute plans yesterday.
Oh.
Not totally like us, but we were literally going to the store. We get in the car, and I go, we should think about doing something for the 4th of July weekend. We should try to get away somewhere. The last couple of years, we've tried to go to places we knew there was not a lot of fireworks, just because mostly for Brody's sake. So we start doing some skimming. We found I don't know exactly where it is, but it's somewhere up near, I think, north of Brooksville. It's a 120-acre former horse farm with a little cottage on it.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to stay out there Friday and Saturday night. And it's like they book it. Their whole thing is that it's people go there for stargazing. Like it's supposedly out in the middle of nowhere where you can see the stars beautifully. And it sits on, it's like unmatched privacy. The driveway to get to the house is 3.5 miles to get back to the house, and it sits on over 100 acres. So yeah, we're gonna go out there and spend Friday and Saturday out there in the middle of nowhere.
Now, when you do something like that, do you take a little to enjoy the gazing?
I'm sure we will. There will be something at some point. It's so funny. This didn't really cross my mind, and I don't really think like this. I like being out of the middle of nowhere, but right after we booked this place, we watched a movie, which I have to say, I'm notoriously giving out bad movie recommendations. Let me find. I found it. I thought this movie was awesome. A scary movie that was awesome, and it kind of feeds into the general idea of what we're doing. It's a house out of the middle of nowhere type thing.
Yeah.
It's called. It was called He's Out There. You think you've ever seen it?
No,
dude. It was. And I said this out loud when we were watching it. Considering that this type of movie and this storyline has been done a million times, I thought it was had lots of like super inventive ways to make it more interesting. And the girl, the main mom, she's been in stuff. I think she was in Dexter. I think she was Dexter's girlfriend for a little bit. But dude, tell me this. I'm not going to give away the whole movie, but tell me this isn't creepy. So they go to this house. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's like an old cabin. It's a mom and 2 young daughters, and they're meeting the dad out there who was running late, and it's kind of a thing. And they get to the cabin, and the little kids are playing outside, and then they look over next to the swing set, and there's a string, there's a piece of yarn, and it just has a little note on it that says "Follow me." And so the little girls start following the yarn into the woods. I'm just trying to decide how much of this movie I want to give away, but I'm going to give away at least this very part. So you see them like following this yarn, and then later on, flashback, it's getting later into the night. They don't show you what happens with the yarn. They just show you them following the yarn, and then they're back at the house. Everything's fine. And one of the girls gets very, very sick. She starts getting very, very sick. And at some point, they show a flashback to when they were playing out in the woods following the yarn, and the yarn led them to a perfect little tea party set up in the middle of the woods. There was tea, there was cupcakes, and the one little girl ate the cupcakes.
Oh.
So, dude, this is the last part I'm going to tell you about it. Just tell you how creepy it is. So the girl's getting sick, and she's puking, and the mom's like, oh, my God, what's going on? And at some point, the girl kind of starts, like, choking. She's throwing up. She's like, something's in my throat, Mommy. And she's like, let me help you. And she pulls it out, and it's like a piece of fabric, and she opens it up. And no, it's not the string. It's like a piece of fabric, and she opens it up, and it just says hello on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. It was really, really good. So, needless to say, that got us thinking about how we're going to be out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
We could have a psycho killer, tracking us and all of that. But
I don't mind a good out in the middle of nowhere movie. Like, I think the last one I watched was Hush. Did you ever see that one? Where, like, the girl's out in the middle of nowhere, but she's, like, deaf?
No.
That one was pretty cool. And I was like, okay.
Silence can be killer. Oh, yeah, that guy looks scary, too.
It's the thing is, like, kind of like with this plot you were explaining, you got to have something else besides they're just out in the middle of nowhere
out there
and someone's attacking them. Because that's a tale as old as time.
You want to know what we got really into last year? And they did, I don't know if it would have been considered a reboot or a continuation, but we went back.
Strangers.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went back and watched the original.
Which was great.
Which was Liv Tyler.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler.
Yes.
The original. And then they brought the new one. There was a weird one in the middle and all of that, but that's supposedly going to be a series. The new one is supposedly going to have a bunch of them, and that is obviously the we're at a remote cabin type thing. And they play to the simplistic angle of it. That a lot of times they're just out there. They're just always outside watching you, which can be creepy enough.
Yeah.
At times.
I think I latched on to that for a couple, but then I think it's the one you were talking about. That's the weird one. I watched this. I go, all right, what were they going with this stupid series?
Yeah, there was a super cheesy one that I think was kind of unconnected called Strangers. The Strangers Pray at Night. And then the newest one was technically Strangers Chapter 1. Well, this says there's a Strangers Chapter 2.
That's the new one coming out right now.
Oh, it's not even out yet.
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah, September 2025.
Yeah.
Oh damn. I like the Strangers. It's just creepy enough.
I like a good slasher film.
Yeah,
that's like a thriller.
This one was interesting because you do get to the slasher, but a lot of it was just the mental part before you get to the slashing. So he's out there if you're looking for a stupid scary movie. It's actually a couple years old, but I thought it was an interesting take on it. That thing today, these stories pop up, and every time they do, I just find myself completely mesmerized by what all of this is like, what it's like for, first and foremost, the person that it happens to, and secondly, what would it feel like to be on a cruise when something like this happens? Because a father and daughter were rescued from the ocean after going overboard on a Disney Cruise Line voyage. I believe I have the audio from ABC News here to give a little more details about exactly what went down.
Hey, George, good morning. Just terrifying moments on a Disney cruise over the weekend. A passenger telling us that a young girl fell overboard and her dad jumped in right after her. We have video of the rescue. Let's go to that. You can see crew on a small boat, father and daughter still in the water. The Disney Dream was returning to Fort Lauderdale on Sunday after a 4-night Bahamian cruise. Passengers say that an emergency code for man overboard went out over the ship's intercom, and the crew immediately went into rescue mode. A Disney Cruise Line spokesperson saying in part, the crew aboard the Disney Dream swiftly rescued 2 guests from the water and commended crew members for the safe return of both guests within minutes. Will?
I gotta say, it is not every day, and I was trying to find out the specifics on what time it was because the video from this video that I'm watching looked like it had happened in the middle of the day, or at least it happened while it was light outside. I would think that has everything to do with your survival chances.
Oh, yeah. If she fell in at night, you're not finding her. If you jumped in right after her, you're still not finding her.
Yeah, Again, it's a dad, it's your kid. There's probably about zero thought process that goes into you jumping overboard to save your kid. But I don't necessarily know. This worked out, but I don't necessarily know that jumping in is always going to be the right move, because 9 out of 10 times you're probably just going to be dead along with the person that you jumped in to rescue.
Yeah, imagine, like you said, there's no thought process. You just have to jump in. But I would feel like before I jumped in, my first instinct would go, is there a lifesaver I could jump in with? So
Something
then we could hold on to something
like that.
Yeah. Do you think you could tread water for 20 minutes? Not float.
Yes.
Tread.
Yeah.
Because I know people said right away, and I was like, am I not just... Is treading water that easy?
Yeah.
Because 20 minutes, that seems like a long time.
I think 20 minutes would be fairly doable.
Really?
I mean, we've done things, we've done boat stock a couple times, and then even just growing up, we would always like swim out to the middle of the lake. I think when you're fighting for your life, it's probably a little more stress inducing, not knowing if you're going to live or die. But I think if you can generally swim for the most part, and it was a casual experience, I think you could probably tread water for 20 minutes.
I told JP he couldn't, and I feel like that's just because of his age, more of his age than
Do you think you could?
I said for sure when I was very active and I was very athletic, like my 20s, I could probably do that, no problem. I don't know right now at 30s if I could. Again, you said it like it's easy, so I was like, maybe it is. I'm just overthinking it.
I got it. Beach bash, man overboard challenge. We got to go out and we either go out into the deep water of the Gulf or we do it in the deep water of the pool.
Yeah.
And we see who can tread water for 20 minutes.
I'm in. I'll do it in the deep end of the pool. I'm not doing it out in the Gulf where there's
Why?
sharks. There's sharks out there. I'm not doing that.
Are you? We had to have covered this. You're not going the water ever guy, or are you not going the water there guy?
I think I told you this. I'm going as far as I could touch the ground, and I'm pretty short, John. So,
dude,
with the waves crash in is where I'm chilling.
You're not safe there, by the way. I'm just saying.
Safer.
A shark could still. Somebody said.
You just grab its nose, though.
Yeah, I know. I heard I'm not sure whose side I'm taking on this yet. I'm trying to think who it was that said this. Somebody recently was talking about the proximity of Sky Beach to the Skyway and just knowing that there are sharks in and around the Skyway. So maybe, I wasn't sure if that's why you were saying that, because you had gotten some intel that there may or may not be sharks in the area.
Well, now that you say that, I'm definitely not getting in the beach water.
Nah, man.
I'll get in the beach water if it's like there's a bunch of people around me. So I'm like, all right, well, the shark's got to hit one of these people first before they make it
Imagine
to me.
the pub, though, dude. Imagine the publicity if you were to get I don't want you to get eaten. I don't want you to get eaten, but dude, there's not going to I
don't got no insurance. I do not need to get even attacked.
The other thing is, think about it. When's the last time Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, all of our beaches, in the entire time that you lived here, have you ever heard of somebody being attacked by a shark here?
Like someone I know?
No, at all.
In Tampa.
Dude, these shark attacks, and then I'm going to look it up. I could be about to be wrong, but I just feel like on the West Coast, it's very, very rare.
That's a good point.
So I'm just saying, like, you're going to be the guy?
Off the top, I don't know. I want to say they're mostly in Clearwater, right?
I don't know that I don't know that I remember hearing of any in Clearwater. This one says on the West Coast, it's down south, like Boca Grande, shark attacks Clearwater Beach. While Clearwater Beach is not known for a high number of shark attacks, it's still important to be aware of the potential risks of sharks are present. Clearwater has only experienced a few incidents ever, with the most recent recorded in 2009.
Okay, so I feel a little safer.
Dude, you're good, man.
It does say St. Beach hammerhead sighting. If there's ever a shark I want to see attack me, probably a hammerhead.
A hammerhead?
I think that'd be cool.
Dude, if somebody got it on tape, too.
Got hit with the hammer.
Yeah, see, like, so we're in a weird area because we're technically in the bay, I guess you could say. St. Pete Beach, known for its beautiful beaches, there have been rare instances of shark bites in the area.
Okay, but that's like kind of what you said, though, like where I usually swim. Now, if we go out a little further, sounds scary.
People are swimming out deep every day. There's an 80-year-old man on St. Pete Beach. I'm making this up, but that goes out and goes swimming every single day. He probably swims 5 miles. They love to do that. People love to do that. In the past year, here you go. This is what you're talking about. There have been reports of a hammerhead shark near swimmers and a woman being bitten near the St. Pete Pier. That's a whole other different. That's a whole different area. However, shark attacks in the Tampa Bay area, which includes St. Pete Beach, very rare. Relatively uncommon. So everything's going to be okay. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
What's up, Room Rooms?
Hey,
it's Paul.
What up, Paul?
How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, so, I don't know, 1994, 1990. I don't know if you remember this story when Jessica was killed by a crab trapper and he put the stuff in the crab trap. So we went.
Wait, I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Okay, no, I'm talking about sharks.
Okay, well, talk to us like we don't know anything.
Okay, so we were in a plane with a sheriff's deputy. We were doing a helping the sheriffs out, and then after we were done, we went from Honeymoon Island to like the Dances are.
Okay,
I haven't been in the water since, you guys.
Oh, come on.
I'm not fibbing you. I am not fibbing you, man. I promise you, I am not fibbing you. I could not believe how many sharks were in the water, and people were back then. You don't see beach balls no more, do you?
What's this? What's this era you're talking about? You're talking about the 90s?
Yes, sir. Honeymoon Island all the way to the Don Cesar.
But I'm giving you hard numbers. They're just not attacking anybody here. So I mean, it's. I'm not saying you're a liar, but they're just not. They're just not biting.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm a sissy and I don't go in the water. I'm just putting it out there, man.
All right,
I'm just letting you know.
You're a real man as far as I'm concerned.
I know if you fly a drone up, though, and you see the bird's eye view of, like, where people are swimming and then the amount of sharks that are right near them, it's alarming.
It is wild only because I have such a healthy fear of gators. And I just think there's not as like, how many times have you been invited out? Like nobody's going, oh, we're going out on a lake day where we're going to be swimming in the lake all day. I know people have boats and they do water sports and there are certain places where people go, but there's just so much more activity at the beach and it's so much more of a normal thing. I say that to just say, I don't ever think of it. As somebody who has I think a healthy fear of gators and of being attacked of maybe certain animals, I love going to the beach as much as anybody, and I love swimming out to the sandbar. I love going out deep. It doesn't ever cross my mind that I could be bit by a shark.
Would you, if you were on like Wikiwachi, right, and you're floating down with your crew, and you saw a 3-foot gator, would you get out the water?
Like how far? So you're saying we're
like swimming around, and let's say it goes like as far away as we are from each other.
And then I don't see the gator anymore, and then somebody says, "Let's get in."
Well, like you're in the water, you see the gator. Are you getting out the water?
I'm probably going to be pretty uncomfortable.
Okay,
I think I'm going to be fairly uncomfortable. I don't. I'd have to know more about my surroundings. If we're in that crystal clear water, like there is up in the Wikiwachi, that gives me more reason to not be so concerned, because then I just feel like I would see it coming. I may still be eaten, but I just think the water is so clear that I would be less scared compared to if it was just dirty brown water.
When me and Nicole were early in the years in the time of dating, we went to Wikiwachi, and basically as far away as you are from me, I saw a gator, and I lost my mind. And there was packed waters. Everyone else was chill. And I was like, am I the only brother on the water, by the way? And I was like,
Canadian brother at that.
I was like, what am I not knowing about gators? Everyone's so chill.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Dude, it reminds me of another story. Dude, I just got the most exciting bird feeder news of my life, dude. Dude,
radio.
We've been waiting for this moment forever. If it was anything else on my bird feeder, I would not care. But dude, check this out. We have a giant parrot. Dude, we got Tweety Pablo on the bird feeder.
Oh, you got Tweety.
Dude, we've been trying to get these parrots in our yard for the past 2 years, and Danielle just sent me. There's a giant parrot on our bird feeder.
That's pretty dope.
That's very exciting.
Nicole would hate that, but that's pretty dope.
She doesn't like.
She hates birds.
All birds?
Birds.
Oh, dude, how's
Birds,
she gonna be in our caw community? Dude, she needs
she's not.
She needs to come over and she is. She's in the caw community
because she's with me
through sexually transmitted. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we need to bring her over, show her a day at the feeders, and tell her everything's gonna be okay.
You think they'll work?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Once you're scared of birds, you're probably scared. But that's crazy. I'm gonna share this on my Instagram story when we go to break, just so everybody knows what we're talking about. Your Wikiwachi story reminded me of a story that we did not get to last week, and it makes me think of something that happened to me. So last week, a Florida father and son found themselves in a terrifying situation when their jet ski broke down in alligator-filled waters. The pair became stranded last Wednesday on Lake Thonotosassa, just outside of Tampa. Their personal watercraft malfunctioned and left them floating helplessly as alligators began to circle them. So they legit it broke down, 2 of them on a jet ski just floating there, and at some point they started being circled by alligators.
Oh, hell no.
Which that is absolutely terrifying. Years and years ago when I worked at Ruby Tuesday, I had a buddy named Dan who had jet skis, and he's like, oh yeah, come out with us on the jet skis. And we took off. Like, we eventually end up in the Gulf and in the Bay, and we're cruising blue waters and all that. But where we put in, and some people will know this area, I think it's the Hillsborough River, but where we put in was in Riverview. And you put in this brown, probably brackish, but freshwater looking area, and there's gators just chilling. So we're putzing out of there on the jet skis before we get to the big water, and there's gators everywhere. You're seeing them on the side, you're seeing them on both sides, and I only went out with them one time, and this is really the reason. So we get out in the water, and I think we went out to some sandbar, and it was a great day. We're zooming around, and when we get back, we have to go back to the no-wake zone, and we're in the dirty water with the gators. Dude, and I flipped that. I just was unsteady and flipped off of that. That feeling of terror is one that I don't know that I've recreated. Because in my mind, this is also 10, probably 12 plus years ago when I was really more of a Michigander. I just thought in that moment when I fell off the jet ski, like they're coming to eat me.
Yeah.
Like, this is over now. Like, this is what happens. You fall into the water and they absolutely eat you. Luckily, I was not eaten. But yeah, when I saw that story about the dudes on the jet skis who started being circled by alligators, it made me think of that memory of mine.
That's terrifying to me. Would you go in a shark cage?
Probably.
Yeah, you seem
probably.
Like a shark cage,
I think that would just be. I'll tell you this: I'd go in a shark cage before I'd go skydiving or in a hot air balloon.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with.
Yeah.
No, I think I would skydive before I get in one. I think.
Dude, you want it to be really cool? Okay, never mind. I got to work through that idea.
Okay,
it was going to be something like you skydive in a shark tank and then you hit the water and just
skydive in a shark tank.
I got to work through the finer.
Okay.
I got to work through the finer
do.
points. It's going to take. I got to go to the lab on this one. Senning Show, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, this is Bill.
Bill, what's up?
Hey, John, Dizzy, good to hear from you guys.
Good to hear from you. I mean, you technically we're hearing from you.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
at
okay.
work.
It's okay. It's just you made it
Listening to you guys.
You called us.
I wanted to talk about the sharks.
Okay.
That's not your concern out there at St. Pete Beach.
Oh, what is it?
Don't do this to me, man.
I'm Florida grown. I'll tell you the worst thing ever.
Is it the Cougars?
I was shot. Oh, no. I was shot in the shoulder, and it was a mosquito bite compared to this.
Wait.
When I was 60.
Okay, yeah, carry
All
on.
right, go
Sorry.
ahead. So, no, I was just kind of giving you a reference. When I was in the military, I got shot in the shoulder, and it felt like a mosquito bite compared to when I was 16 years old. When I was 16 at St. Pete Beach, I stepped on a stingray, and a 2-inch barb went through my foot.
Oh, damn. You got the Steve Irwin treatment, dude.
Yeah, and it sent me out of school for a month and a half. My career counselor had to bring me my homework in the hospital.
Oh, man. How long was it? Like, did it go like all the way through your foot?
Yeah, how bad was the penetration?
They had to cut the actual barb off the stingray, and they kept the barb in my foot until I got to the hospital.
Oh, man. So it was like all the way through. Did it mess with the nerves and the tendons and stuff?
Yeah, it almost prevented me from going to the military.
How deep were you in the water? Were you like waist deep?
I wasn't even. It was up to my knees.
Oh my God!
Oh, dude, that's that dizzy territory, as I like to call it.
So
neck deep.
That grew up here in Florida, just do the stingray shuffle. When you're out there, just remember to shuffle your feet. It's the best way to prevent that.
I have heard that, and I've also don't know that I've ever heard anybody who has been, attacked by one. Thank you for the call.
Well,
this is the thing.
They're just scaring me straight of this beach bash.
Yeah, but I mean, it killed Steve Irwin, and then it's just like of all the things that could have killed Steve Irwin.
Yeah, with the
for it to be a stingray.
wrangling poisonous snakes.
I mean, all of the things that he did, hopping on the backs of alligators, and it was a bitch-ass stingray that took him out.
Remember when that happened? Everyone hit the Google and was trying to get the video.
Oh, and supposedly it's out. I mean, the story goes that I don't know if the wife has it, and I think she has it and has never watched it. Because I think the anniversary of his death or something came up recently, and she spoke out about that video. Or maybe she destroyed it.
I think she probably destroyed it.
I think that's what it is.
Because the guy who took it was like one of his longtime like camera dudes, right? Wasn't that the story? And he was like, out of respect, people were offering me X amount to sell them the video. I just gave it to the wife, and the wife was like, "Well, I trashed it."
Yeah. Why people think they've seen the Steve Irwin's death video despite the footage never being released? Ooh, a little Mandela effect deal. I was trying to see. I remember she had comments about it, but yeah, that's crazy. Crikey. Crikey, got me. Senning Show, you're on the air.
Hey, this is Mark.
Mark, what up?
Hey, so I've been born and raised in Florida. I grew up going into the Boy Scouts, and they would take us all to different places. One of the places they'd like to take us was Mayaca River State Park.
Oh, geez,
Never
it's
been
insane
there.
down there.
It is infested, and there was one time we were, it was like maybe 5 or 6 of us on the side of a bank just fishing, throwing lures, doing all the fun stuff. We're catching alligator guards. That's pretty much all we got. And I remember, I started, looking around and how quiet they are. They will sneak right up on you. There was one that was, maybe 2 feet away from me, just hanging out, waiting for me to catch something. And I was like, guys, we got to go. And then the thing that really kind of sealed the deal was we had a friend of ours catch one, pull it in, and then he just literally took it off the hook and chunked it back in the water. And a gator that we never even knew was there came up out of it and caught it before it even hit the water.
It is wild. I mean, you can see pictures from there, and I think maybe the people that have never been there that live in Tampa might not even know how wild it is down there. Because I've seen pictures that you would have thought would have been from the Serengeti or somewhere else in another country when you just see, hundreds of gators on the banks in certain areas down there. It is it's like a little mini Jurassic Park, and that's not even to mention the skunk apes.
I know we had people calling in to see if we could get vroom drivers for them. Anyone reach out on social media. I'd like someone to piggyback me through the beach. So if you want to let me just ride on that back when we get in the water, hit me up on social media at Dizzy from Air.
I love the idea of this being like an older, 6'8" bearded gentleman, with full body hair.
Yes.
That you just kind of hop on his back and I don't know. I may be speaking out of turn here, but didn't Prince have somebody that he rode around? It was like a big burly dude that he used to ride around on their back all the time.
That's got to be fake.
Prince
piggyback.
Prince piggyback guy. I'm pretty sure this is a real thing. Prince piggyback guy. It was Prince's bodyguard, Big Chick Huntsberry. There's a famous photo of Prince being carried on Big Chick's back.
Oh my God, I got to see this photo.
You need and I think they alluded to it in the Chappelle skit. I think they kind of joked about it or did a reenactment of it in the Chappelle.
There it is.
Oh yeah,
You're right.
dude, that's
you nailed
him.
it.
Dude.
You nailed it.
Dude, you need that guy.
I need that.
We need a large, older gentleman, preferably with a very hairy body, to protect Diz in the waters.
Dude. I hope he gets some people just hit me up. Yeah, I'm about 6'6". Used to be a lumberjacker. Like, you're in.
I got real strong quads, brother. I can carry your ass all day. If you're on hold, hang tight. I'd love to take more of your calls. You know, animal attacks and sea creatures are some of my favorite stuff. But we are going to get to something new, and I'm willing to part with some prizes. Let me take a look at what we got real quick.
Cause we didn't have no phones. Parents would be home by evening. I told them I'll be there when the lights go up.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, sir. Offspring, Suicide Boys, A Day to Remember, and Yellow Card. All those tickets will be available. What we really want to find in a perfect world is a parent who has snitched on their child. Your kid commits a crime and you actively turned them in. That's what we're looking for. Something a little outside of those bounds probably could still win you a prize, but we've got a local story where dad did not play games. His kid committed a crime and he got his ass. We'll touch on that and a bunch more. Coming up next on more Senning Show. Tiza Energy. You know I'm rocking a banging black cherry. That was when I started to feel alive on this rainy, gloomy Monday where I've been dragging ass. It will give you an alert, focused energy that you cannot find in a mug or a can or in any other supplement. That's why I love it. A lot of people, and I love it for this, they beat habits with Tiza. You dipping, you vaping, you zinning, you got chaw in your jaw. Maybe you just want to stay away from the snacks. It can help with all of those things as well. And you can stock up at TizaEnergy.com. Use the code BONE20 for 20% off everything in the online store. And check out that store locator because Tiza is now available in Walmart, 7-Elevens, all over the state, and Amazon. So you can go to Amazon, find your Tiza, subscribe and save, and have a box showing up on your front porch every week. Tiza Energy. We love you. Why spit when you can swallow?
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Summer is here, and it's time to take that weekend getaway to Vegas, or maybe book that Alaskan cruise. But maybe inflation has kicked you right in the wallet. Well, leave it to Mike Calta to cancel his new order of 14 refrigerators just to give you the Mike Calta Summer Vacay Payday. Listen for the keyword every Tuesday and Thursday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get it and enter it in the free 102.5 The Bone app, and you could win $1,000. That's $1,000 that you can use towards a beach vacation, or to buy your own refrigerator, or to just buy a bunch of beer, stay home, and drink them. You know, like a staycation. It's the Mike Calta Summer Vacay Payday from 102.5 The Bone. Real, raw radio.
Hurt in a slip and fall? Take back control of your life. Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
The bigger, better, faster summer event is on at Jerry Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get deals on over 1,000 vehicles in stock during the Employee Pricing Plus event. Save up to $15,000 on new 2025 models, and your first 3 payments are on us. And don't forget to visit our website and enter for your chance to win a new Ram 1500. It's all happening at the #1 Ram dealer in the U.S., Jerry Ohm. Tampa is Ohm Country. Online at jerryohm.com. Call 1-800-840-0798 for complete details.
John Senning here. I'm obviously not an attorney, but Mo DeWitt is. And you probably already know that if you're injured on the go, just call Mo. Mo and his firm fights for the injured people in Tampa Bay to get them what they deserve. Fighting the insurance companies can seem overwhelming, but that's what Mo does every day. And he's ready to do it for you. No matter what life throws at you, stand up and fight to get what you deserve. And it all starts with one call to Tampa's injury attorney at 866-CALL-MO. Give him a call day or night at 866-CALL-MO. That's
That's 866 call MOE.
Our huge 4th of July celebration is on at every Crown Automotive dealership with star-spangled savings on the new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV you need. We're loaded with inventory, but these very special Independence Day offers are good through July 4th only. That means you only have 5 days left to save like never before. Hurry to our huge 4th of July sale and let freedom at the Crown Automotive dealership of your choice. The better way to buy and service.
When you hire Bernetti PA for your injury case, we make the process easy for you to monitor. We provide you our app so that you can monitor your case at any time. Call 1-800-BERNETTI. We're ready. Offices Lakeland, Tampa, St. Pete.
Summer is here, so if you are thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can sell your home quickly and for maximum value. Hey, it's JP, and you can skip all the hassles of a traditional home sale and sell your home quickly without the stress of showings, open houses, and those costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed all-cash offer allows you to sell your home in as little as 21 days and move when you're ready. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. More fiber?
What?
Down here, buddy. It's me, your spoon. Constipation with belly pain still coming back?
Yeah.
Talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, but Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
1025 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. And 1073 WXGL HD2 St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio. And now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
Let's get the thing started. We came to party. Follow my little king. Now you got it, whiskey, and we don't need nothing stronger. Which nights like these? It's the weekend now. I just tapped out. I'm tired of having my patience.
Welcome back to Senning Show. I'm John Senning. He is Dizzy. Hit us up on social media. X and Instagram at the John Senning, at Dizzy for Mayor. Dude, I got an update. I now have 2 giant parrots. You got to look at it on my Instagram story. I just put it on there. 2 giant parrots.
Let me check
I realize I sound like a 75-year-old man, but things like that are just interesting to me because anything that looks like it shouldn't, like those, you see those in a pet store. Like you see those, people have those as pets. And the fact that those giant-ass parrots are just flying around will never not blow my mind.
That's pretty good.
There's 2. Yeah. There's 2. They look big as hell, too. We had our friend.
Is that a real bird at the bottom, too? Or is that...
oh yeah, that is a real bird.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, I've been big in the bird community lately. I got my app where I'm tracking bird noises, and it's like you give to the birds and they give back. And here we are.
Yeah.
Now we got parrots on the feeder. Dude, I just saw it on social media and I've been meaning to bring it up. I have to make it a point. I think it's September 6th. I don't know if you went last time he was in town, but I have to make it a point to see this man live before he's not touring anymore. Adam Sandler coming back to town September 6th. Did you see him when he was here last time?
No. I think I think we went over this, that like I'm not really too familiar with his work.
You're not a Sandman.
Comedy movies and stuff, but not like his stage work. Yeah.
Dude, so he did, I want to make sure.
But I heard he killed it.
Yeah.
When he was out here.
I want to find the name before I give it to you. Oh, yeah, Love You is what it was. You should watch that because that was his most recent thing that he did on Netflix. And old school, well established, back to the, they're all going to laugh at you albums and the albums that he did. I don't know that he's doing a ton of that stuff ever anymore, but he did that special Love You on Netflix. And I read an article about it the other day that it's like 95% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It is one of the funniest things that completely went over the radar or under the radar. And I don't want to ruin it, but it's like it's a stand-up and he's playing music, but they're doing all of these other things. Like things are going wrong the entire time. Like if you were just watching it, maybe some people wouldn't get that it was a bit, but like they're having constant technical difficulties and like things are falling and like things are going all around. And it's just made to make this super uncomfortable, weird environment. And it was done very, very well. If you haven't watched it yet, you should check it out on Netflix. Love You.
Okay, I'm going to check it out. I need to know kind of what I'm expecting when it comes to him because I know his music is a big part of his act.
He does some music. But this is, if you know anything about Andy Kaufman and how he would go into these like weird places to almost just make people uncomfortable, it's got major Andy Kaufman vibes. And I believe the Safdie brothers, or at least one of them, is behind the deal on Netflix. And he's the guy that did The Curse with Nathan Felder. And he also did Uncut Gems. So they're just about making uncomfortable stuff in this special with Adam Sandler. I thought was one of the best things he's done in a decade, and I think not a lot of people talked about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing him when he comes to Amalie. I believe it's September 6th.
What I love about Adam is he's just such a dude. You know what I mean? He's going to dress exactly how he wants. Yeah. He's going to be into whatever he wants. You might see him show up to an award show in just like some basketball shorts and a hockey jersey, He's such a cool dude.
I will say I'm a little I'm a little worried about the Happy Gilmore reboot.
Why?
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you the last time that a movie that is held in the highest of regard from a comedy perspective had an overdue sequel that hit the mark. Like, I'm sure it's going to be funny, but it's just, I don't know if you can capture the magic of Happy Gilmore twice. I think it's going to be super, I don't know if corporate is the word, but I know they're going to have a lot of golfers in it. There's obviously a lot of celebrities in it. I think it's going to kind of have a different feel to it than the original, and as somebody who holds all of those early Sandler movies in high regard, I'm just worried about it. That's all.
No, that makes sense because some of those movies, they just come from a different, like Austin Powers. Would it do as well now?
No.
I feel like the era of what that was is so funny for like late 90s, early 2000s that if we saw it now, we'd be like, I think it's way too late for this type of movie.
And that's what it comes down to from my perspective, is it's sometimes there's such a thing as waiting too long. And that to me, we had this whole period in the early 2000s to 2010s where I think there was a craving for all of that stuff, but nobody was making them. Yeah. And then sometime once we got into the late 2010s, early 2020s, there was this rush of everybody remaking the movies that they should have remade 10 or 15 years ago. And sometimes, whether it's just the times or the people behind it, whatever it is, I just think it's too long. That's just part of it. Sometimes they're just bad movies, but sometimes I think you just waited too long. You could have caught the true excitement in the moment when people wanted it most, but you wait 15, 20 years too long.
Well, I think the best prime example is Zoolander. It was
another
big hit
one
when it came out, right? That's the second one.
It was kind of a dud, and I think there's not that I can think of all of them right now. Coming to America. That was another
bad.
one. And that was a movie that people held in the highest regard.
Yeah.
And now you have a sequel out there with the original actors in it that nobody talks about, that nobody liked, that had no real significance, to the storyline. And I think you can just wait too long and you end up with a sequel that nobody wants at that time and that isn't very good. And I don't know that you tarnish the legacy of a movie. The original, the great's always going to be the great. I think Dumb and Dumber 2 might be that too.
Yes. I think the only movie I could think of that did it okay was Super Troopers 2. That wasn't a terrible movie compared to the...
It wasn't, but I still think that flew under for the regard in which Super Troopers was held in for so long.
Yeah.
I think they still waited too long, and by the time it came out, I think it kind of went under the radar because people just weren't as hungry for it as they once were.
Yeah, you got a good point, because I can't think. I even Googled great comedy sequels, and all the ones that popped up were ones like, Rush Hour 2 came kind of after Rush Hour 1.
After. They come right after, or at least in the conversation. All right, let's dig into this story. If you're on hold, I'll get to you in just a sec if you got an animal thing or a water creature thing, but I want to at least set this story up because I'm looking for parents who have snitched on their kids. And I'm not talking about what do they call it? It was dry snitching?
Dry snitching.
What's the difference between a dry and a wet snitch?
Dry snitching is kind of when you don't mean to throw someone under the bus and like expose them and call them out, but you do.
You do just the same. Yeah. So this is wet snitching. This is about as good as it gets.
Right.
And who knows? There could have been the dad could have had a talk with his kid, and maybe they came to an agreement. And there's not tons of details. And this is out in my old stomping grounds in good old Lake County, Florida. Police in Leesburg, Florida, didn't have to search too long for a suspect in a fatal shooting that happened Friday. The young man's father turned him into the police station later that night. Officers with the Leesburg Police Department responded to reports of a shooting on June 27th at around 7 p.m. They arrived to find the 20-year-old victim suffering a gunshot wound.
Ooh.
The victim was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. While investigators were at the scene of the crime, the suspect, 18-year-old Cameron Pickard, and his father arrived at the police station where he turned himself in. He was booked into the Lake County Jail and has been charged with premeditated homicide. And now it is a conversation we love to have because I think it's dives into the dynamics of a parent's love and what you're willing to do for your kid. I think the most recent insane version of a story like this that was national news was the Gabby Petito situation where Brian Laundrie, who we all know and believe killed his girlfriend, his parents helped him get away with it, cover it up, got him the legal representation that he needed, did everything along the way to make sure that their baby boy could be as comfortable as possible. But in a situation like this, you almost have to wonder, does the dad figure it out and go, you need to step up? You know what I mean? Like you need to, like, without knowing the details, he could have strong-armed his son and forcefully put him into a vehicle and taken him to the police station. But I'd venture to think it was more of, son, you did this, you need to step up and you need to take the consequences. Get in my car, we're going to the police station. At that point, I guess it's still snitching. It would be different to me if the dad calls the police and goes, yeah, I know that my son killed somebody earlier today. Yeah. He's in my garage right now and come get him. That to me feels a little more of a traditional snitch. But if you've turned your child in for any sort of crime, we're willing to part with some tickets for the tale. 800-771-1025.
I think as bad as it sounds, my parents would absolutely do whatever it takes to cover up for me or my sister. It was way back with the Casey Anthony case when the dad got brought into it, and they're like, well, he abused me and did this and did that. And the dad just sat there in court. And I remember the conversation because my mom was like, oh, man, well, maybe my mom's on the other side. But she's like, I can't believe he's just sitting there and blah, blah, blah. And my dad went, I would do that for Megan or Gareth. And she's like, for real? He goes, I would absolutely fall on the sword or lie or whatever to protect my kids.
I'm pretty positive that my mom would do anything. She would lie. She would say she did it herself, whatever it meant. My dad, and I don't look at this, and when I say this, I don't look at it as if my dad would not do anything for me. I just think his moral compass is very set in stone.
Yes.
And that it would be a situation like this where he would come to me and go, you got to step up and do that. You know what I mean? Less of like turning me in and more of like, you did this. You gotta own up and take the punishment that comes along with it. My mom, on the other hand, would be, how much help do you need burying this body?
Yes.
Do you need me to chop something or somebody into small pieces? Like she would probably do anything.
My pops, same thing with your mom. Let's figure out a way to get you out the country, whatever. My mom, kind of like your pops, I think she'd be like, look, you're absolutely wrong. You need to turn yourself in, but we'll do whatever we can to make sure you don't go away for life or this or that. We'll make it a little more comfortable for you with the repercussions.
We'll try to make sure that your sweet little tight booty is only pounded as much as it needs to be.
Only consensual pounding.
Exactly. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Melanie.
Hey, Melanie. How are you today?
Hey, doing good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. I feel a lot better now than I did about 2 hours ago. This rainy Monday morning really had me, down in the dumps, but I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, same thing. All the pool parties and beach parties that are going on this weekend. I hope it holds out.
Yeah,
but-
I don't know. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a wet one. Have you ever turned in your child for a crime?
I have.
Oh, do tell.
Well, my son is older now. He's in his early 30s, but this was when he was right around 17, 18, and he was getting into, when the oxy craze was going on, and I knew that was going on, and he had been in, trying to, steer him, if, he would stay out of that. And I knew they had a warrant for his arrest. Ooh. And it was up in Spring Hill, and I knew where he was, and I knew, I had tried everything to really get through to him, and I knew he was going down a bad road. So I knew where he was. He was at a friend's house, and I called the police, and I sat at the top of a hill, and I kind of could see in my rear view mirror. I told them where he was, and I could see the police go to the house and arrest him. And I sat at the top of the hill, and I knew it was for the best, because I knew if he went to jail, that would be a great way to get him clean and get out of what he was doing and hanging out with the people he was hanging out with. And it worked. He ended up going to jail.
That is one of those, not that I guess in a weird way can admire both sides in any situation. I think there's something about a parent's love that can be endearing even when it's bad. But in that situation, I think you've got to do it. And I've heard so many people, who have kids or family members that battle addiction. And it's one of those things where at least you're not going to be lying awake all night, wondering if he's taken a bad pill and is in a ditch somewhere. Like, you'll know where he is. And then hopefully along with where he is, he can get the help that he needs. So there was almost, I'm sure, some comfort that came along with doing that. Less of I'm turning in my kid, and more of I
was so
I know
nervous.
where he is,
I didn't know where he was exactly, and the fact that he was 18, it made it difficult, because he could legally go and do what he wanted to do. But I just no.
Are you all good now? Did he?
Yeah, he's good now. Yeah, he's good now. I mean, there were rocky times through his 20s. But he definitely battled it. He's now working. He's got a family, my grandchildren, and
has he ever looked back
really well
and been like, "Damn, thank you for that," because I was spiraling out of control, and you kind of reeled me in. Albeit I had to get in trouble for it, but it definitely helped me out.
Yes, he did. And there was a time period even later where he, had a little bit of a relapse. Anyone who's been addicted, I've never had that problem. So it was very tough for me as a mom, because I never had to, battle that on my own. I didn't have that addictive personality, but his father did. So I knew it was genetic. I knew it came, what the source was, and why he was battling that.
How long was this era? How long was this era of him being on pills?
I struggled with him from the time he was about 14 till about 28.
Dude, it's so crazy. I have a friend currently right now whose son is almost going through the exact same thing and has been almost dead multiple times. He's relapsed.
He had a problem he almost died. Yeah, he almost died on me several years ago.
And I keep telling him, and I'd be curious your opinion as a mother who's lived through it, because, I'm not a professional. I've watched my fair share of intervention. I know that at some point, either has to be hard lines drawn. And I keep telling him, because I'm watching it kill him in real time too. And I said, sometimes I think you're gonna have to pull away. Did you ever get to the point where you thought you might just have to put some distance, or were you just never really giving up at that point?
I definitely put distance after that happened. He went and lived with his father for a couple of years. But when he came back to Florida, his father was up in Georgia, and he came back to Florida. And at some point, I felt I had done what I could do, and he was an adult. Yeah. And just you have to have faith that what you've done when you raised them and he was younger, that will come back, and somewhere in there that goodness and all those lessons that you've taught them will come back, and they'll they'll remember.
Yeah.
And he did, luckily, and he got himself out of it. And he did have some help with, he did go to a program that helped him as well.
Good.
And
Good.
yeah, so
Good.
it ended up good.
Well, that's
But
good.
to anyone out there struggling as a parent, I would tell you have to do the tough love. You know, I didn't know what to do, but at the time that was my best option.
Yeah, well,
and
look,
it was worth it.
it sounds like it all worked out. Hang tight. I'm gonna let you pick from the prize stash. Yeah, that's such a tough thing, and I've had people in my life that suffer from addiction and stuff, but I do have something in my fairly personal life that is near and dear to this, and it's such as a parent, which I'll never be able to grasp that, but like to watch your kid legitimately just slowly kill themselves, and you just, the whole world and everybody who loves them is shaking them and saying, why are you doing this? Why, like, come back to us. You've got a wife, you've got kids of your own, you've got to do all this, and none of it matters. Like, it is got to be one of the toughest things you can go through, because, you know, losing a child is the worst, obviously, but losing a child in slow motion, you know what I mean, where you're watching it happen, and a lot of people can turn it around, but a lot of people don't. And for so many people out there, and I think my friend is in the situation where it's hard to not see a scenario where this kid doesn't end up killing himself. Yep. And that is a morbid, terrible thing to say, but when you've done it 30 times with the same exact outcome, you just start losing hope, and you start losing hope that they're ever going to see anything. And so I feel for you, ma'am, and I'm glad that everything worked out. And yeah, I think sometimes, ironically enough, the same situation I'm talking about had this exact situation happen where they thought him being in jail would be better, and he got out, and it wasn't. And that, you know, kind of back to ground zero at this exact moment. So hang in there, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that story with us. I'll give you a prize in just a second. Senning Show, you're live on the air. I know you've been holding for a bit. What's going on?
Hello?
Yes, you're live on the air.
Oh, okay, good. This is Dean.
Gene?
I have a little story.
Gene?
That will cause this. Yeah, Dean.
Dean, okay, Dean, like Jimmy Dean. Gotcha.
I have a little story that will cause the little short guy to never go in the water again.
You talking to me?
You want me to
Yeah, you will never go in the water.
Thank you, sir. Senning Show, you're
You
live
just
on
said
the air.
dizzy.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that that's what you wanted to do, because it's what I wanted to do, so I'm glad we're on the same page. Senning Show, you're live on the air.
Hey, John, Dizzy, enjoy the show.
Thank you. You got to put a little bit of respect on the name if you're gonna step in the ring, brother. What's going on today, man?
So mine's a little different. I wasn't the parent; I was the child.
Oh wow!
This was back in my teenage years. It was actually 2 weeks before my 17th birthday. Had a friend who got me some herbal. I had stashed it in my room, waiting for my birthday. My mom had found it. I got home from after school, and she'd given me the 3rd degree. Where'd you get it? This, that, and I'm not going to narc out my friends or anything like that.
A real man.
Yeah, my boy.
She talked to my dad. My dad's like, we can't. We did the same thing. She wasn't having it. She literally put me in the vehicle, drove me to the police department.
Wow, dude, that is hardcore, dude.
We sat outside in front of the PD for a good 15, 20 minutes, going back and forth. She wanted me to narc my friends out. I absolutely refused.
Wow.
She legitimately took me inside. We were in there for a couple hours. They gave me like a citation at the time. Went back home. After that, my parents was like, well, if you don't want to follow the rules, you can move out. That weekend,
how old are you here?
I am 47 years old now.
No. How old are you at the time when it happened?
Oh, it was 2 weeks before my 17th birthday.
Okay. So you're still a little young, yeah.
Yeah. So then, I moved out. Told them where I was going. I was going to a friend's house. I was at my friend's house for a week. And they called me in as a runaway. Then they picked me up that
Dude, they
time.
just had the law on your tail, man. They just
pretty much. If they only knew where we would stand with the herbal nowadays.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. If they only would have known.
Right. But no, it was kind of a rough course. They asked me if I had learned my lesson, and I just just hide my stuff better next time.
Did you go back home after they?
No, they called me in as a runaway. Basically, what ended up happening is they said obviously there was some issues. By that time, I was already over 17. And actually went through with emancipation paperwork.
Oh, damn. So wait, you divorced your parents over this whole thing?
Pretty much. I mean, that's what they had wanted. That's exactly what they wanted.
Do you talk to them now? Are they alive?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I talk to them now.
Okay.
Like
I was going to say.
That was just a little hiccup in the road, young and dumb, making some bad choices. But no, we get along real nice now. Very cordial. I take care of them and things like that.
Good.
Yeah, much different scene than what it used to be.
Good. Well, I'm glad you came out the other side.
Do you ever throw it in their face like, hey, remember that time when you kicked me out the house?
Dude,
Still love and take care of you, mom and dad.
I mean, the parental divorce, man, that is that's a next level move. If you're on hold, hang tight. I'd love to take more of your calls when we get back. I also have, we got to touch on some Vroom Vroom. Saturday night may have been the most insane, exciting race that I've watched in my new modern era of NASCAR fandom. By the way, did you see I got more NASCAR gear today?
I did. When you walked in, I was like, look at this guy.
Dude, I'm going to get to the point to where the NASCAR community is going to turn on me just because I'm such a fanboy for so many different guys. But I've been big on Carson Hocevar, who has really just become a little bad guy. He's crashing people all the time. He got himself in trouble in Mexico City for saying some bad stuff about the trip to Mexico, and I like his style. So I'm rocking that. And it's got his car is representing the Presidente Margarita from Chili's, which is one of my favorites. So we'll touch on a little Vroom Vroom, and the Vroom Vroom doesn't end there. Probably the greatest Vroomin' movie of all time. Definitely the greatest Vrooming franchise of all time is literally bringing one of the greats back from the dead. We'll touch on those things and make way for John's Joints coming up at 3 o'clock with more Senning Show on the way. 4th of July weekend coming up. How about you impress your friends and family? You do something a little bit different this year when you're out there on the grill. Well, the way to do that is by hitting up wildforkfoods.com. You can get it delivered right to your front door. If you want to make it into your local Wild Fork, they've got locations in West Chase, South Tampa, and St. Pete. But you'll be able to take everything you know about grilling and crank it up to the next level. Even if it's just going with the hot dogs and burgers, maybe do some Wagyu ground beef or some Wagyu beef hot dogs and take it up just a notch. Maybe you want to do a big old tri-tip. You be out there mastering the grill, slicing off some medium rare tri-tip, popping the crowd. They've got all of the sides, the seasonings, desserts, everything you can think of and more for your 4th of July grilling weekend. Again, check it all out. Make your plans now at wildforkfoods.com.
Not everybody dies with a born, takes a field full of corn and turns it into whiskey. Say it with me.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Tell us what you think. Head to the 102.5 The Bone app now and leave us an open mic. The Open Mic on the free 102.5 The Bone app is sponsored by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
Mom and Dad seemed different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
Ah, La Galleria.
And of course, American touches like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 40% off, plus kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Take advantage of the Employee Pricing Plus event at Cherry Home Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Save up to $15,000 on new 2025 models, and your first 3 payments are on us. At the #1 Ram dealer in the U.S., Tampa is Ohm Country. Online at cherryhome.com. Call 1-800-210-6286 for complete details.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America. Fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are 2 very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call Trajan today at 813-550-1000. That's 813-550-1000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
If you're thinking about selling your home this summer, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home hassle-free and make the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain. The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. Skip the hassle of costly repairs and sell your home stress-free. There's no showings, no open houses, and no waiting or wondering when your home's going to sell. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. One of our clients, Lori, said, Mark Spain Real Estate was great. They had our house sold within 3 days and kept us informed on everything that was happening. Mark Spain Real Estate was wonderful to work with, and I would highly recommend them to anyone looking to sell. Sell your home stress-free with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. I've been in the business for nearly 30 years, and I know what matters most, selling your home fast and for the most money. Find out what your guaranteed offer would be and close in as little as 21 days. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Involved in a car accident? We understand the pressure you're under. Call Farah and Farah.
Tampa.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, accident attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show, 800-771-1025. Dude, if you are participating in the NASCAR bracket challenge, just about everybody's bracket has been busted in one of the craziest wrecks. It had been a minute since I saw a crash that led to a red flag, so they had to stop the entire race because the track was such a mess after this crash. I wanted to look up. I did find it pretty intriguing because I know you did your bracket over the weekend, and fun to know that you and I did have the same final last two in Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. I'm trying to look at all of the people. Hamlin taken out in the wreck. Logano taken out in the wreck. Bubba Wallace crashed out in the wreck. Chastain went out. I think Larson may have finished. Blaney taken out in the wreck. But have the audio from the...
19 cars?
19 cars, dude. It was... I've seen, in a lot of these big... tracks, the Talladegas, the Daytonas of the world, they always talk about the big one, which because they're so close together, it's just like when somebody crashes, everybody crashes.
Yeah.
I still don't remember in my life of watching any NASCAR a wreck that seemed to take so many people out all at the same moment.
Oh, the 20's going around. The 20's getting 5's wrecking as well. Crash. The 3.
Have you seen it?
Oh, the 12
Yeah.
of Blaney up into the wall. Austin Dillon. Throw your brackets away. Throw all your brackets away. They've all been busted. Keep an eye on that 20 car right there. And that outside lane gets loose into 3. Trying to save it. The 5 also gets turned sideways right here.
The 5.
Bubba Wallace into the left front of the 20.
I was so worried too because they started the coverage on TNT, and I don't know who has it, but I've been so worried because I heard one of the stations has an Australian dude that does the play-by-play.
That's awesome.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree there.
Oh, why?
I just feel like you need to have a Southern drawl calling your NASCAR.
I think it's fun. Well, okay, you're not wrong. But I think it's fun thing about crikey. Look at him taking the outside.
Yeah, there's just there's something to it. I was trying to find how many times the lead was swapped in this race in Atlanta. They were going back and forth, switching leaders for almost the entirety of the race. And then at the very end, I think he came from 5th or 6th place on the last lap. Chase Elliott ended up winning the race. It was damn fine, entertaining content on a Saturday night. And if you did fill out one of the brackets, there's a good chance that it was busted because some of those guys came back, but 19 people in just in one wreck was wild to see because it pretty much those first few crashed and it just shut down the track. I mean, nobody could get through. So at that point, you're just running in to a wall of cars. And I would be very curious to know. You can look, I think, where you filled out the bracket, I think you can see the leaderboard. I'd be very curious to know if anybody up until this point is still technically in the there is somebody, there's 3 people. 3 people have the bracket. Yep, which is crazy to think.
So did that 11 car just lose control or did he get nicked a little bit? We just can't see it from
Well,
the
you say that 11 car, that's your boy.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I think something did happen. I mean, at that point, there's so much all this conversation that I fully don't grasp yet about dirty air and side drafting, and you get up next to somebody and it can make your car loose. Nobody that they asked of the 19 people that crashed their car seemed to have a good answer for why it happened. I'd be curious for you to look at yours again because this has the leaderboard for the NASCAR bracket, and so there's 3 dudes that seem to be still have the bracket intact at the top. But I'm in 20,000th place. So if you could check if you could check for me to find out if you're better than 20,666 is my number, which seems a little bit evil to be honest with you.
I just got to go to the NASCAR thing. Well, just follow the link you sent me, and then it'll probably ask me to sign it, right?
I think you can do it, yeah. This next week is going to be very interesting because I've never witnessed one of these races with my own eyeballs. They're doing a street race. So they actually go to Chicago, and they shut down the streets in Chicago and make it a lot like what they do in St. Pete here with the Grand Prix. They will be shutting down the roads in Chicago and making a NASCAR track right there in the midst of the street. So it should be pretty entertaining. I'm still, dude, my Vroomer is throbbing like it never has before. I keep waiting for my attention span to wane a little bit, but it's not happening.
All right, I'm going to sign in now.
You got your number?
No, I got to sign in first.
All right, sign in. I'm going to dig into this. Dominic Toretto and Brian O'Connor will indeed see each other again. And if you know anything about the Fast and Furious franchise, it's all about family, baby. Vin Diesel, who plays Dom in Fast and Furious, is telling people that he thinks the next installment of Fast and Furious will somehow, some way feature Paul Walker and Brian O'Connor. And they're saying they've got a CGI, different effects, and he's got 2 brothers, Cody and Caleb. They think that between all of those things working with them, they will be able to have Paul Walker in the next Fast and Furious movie.
I don't know how I feel about that, man.
Yeah,
let the dead rest.
I thought I'm a pretty big Fast and Furious guy. It's lost me a little bit, I will admit, over probably the last 2. But in the earlier days of Fast and Furious, I'm fully on board and I'm a big fan. When they had that kind of farewell moment when they each drive their own way, like to me that was pretty much the moment. That was a great moment. I don't know that you can create a better farewell moment in a movie than that. So without knowing what they're going to do, it feels kind of weird to bring Paul Walker back from the dead in that movie.
Did you watch Fast and the Furious X or whatever the hell it's called, the last one with Jason Momoa?
No, I didn't even watch it.
He was kind of funny. He was kind of funny and stupid and like whatever. It was kind of fun in that sense. But essentially, it sounds like the family's trapped in different scenarios. So I imagine the way they're going to do it is Paul Walker's going to save the family.
I don't know which one it was, but it lost me. It lost me when Ludacris was in a spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember when that was, but that was the exact moment, and it broke my heart. But that was the exact moment that I said goodbye to Fast and Furious when Ludacris was flying through the air in a spaceship. I just thought, okay, we've hit the peak.
They had to take out a satellite, and they're like, but it's going to be a sacrifice by them. So,
is that what it was?
That's what it was supposed to be. And then, like in the end credits, they're like, some other astronauts were up there, and they were like, "Hey, come on our ship." You know what I mean? It's so dumb.
It was cheesy, but I did think that early on there was this heartwarming theme between all of them.
Yeah,
and I think that got so lost. I mean, it just became, what big action stars can we get to be in this movie to put it over the top? I mean, they've done Cena, they did Jason Statham, they're now doing Momoa, they've done the lady part and Charlize Theron. Like, they just threw so much stuff at the movie that it kind of lost me, and that brings me no joy because the early ones are some of my favorites.
Yeah, the early ones were pretty good, but when they started, so the first one with The Rock, that was probably my favorite.
The Rock was another one that they added in there that, well, I guess him and Vin Diesel absolutely hate each other. So
when they started jumping from building to building to building and like whipping their car across bridges that are gone, just on ropes that got stuck, and then like The Rock changing the trajectory of torpedoes. It's like, what are we doing?
Well, and that's what are we doing now? Is I think what made it so great early on was it was racing.
Yeah,
like, it was cars. Everybody could wrap their head around that. Now it might as well be an alien movie because there's nothing that you see on the screen 90% of the time is based in any reality that could ever happen.
The first movie, do you know what they were stealing from the trucks? DVD players.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that. And now they're like, well, we're who we call on when the world's in trouble.
Exactly.
And they need some vroom vroom.
It's become a superhero movie.
Yeah.
It absolutely has become a superhero movie in any sense of the world. And I don't mean that in a good way.
I'm surprised, and maybe I've missed little references, that they haven't brought more NASCAR racers into the fold.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have. Senning Show, you're live on the air.
Brother, just calling for Beef Curtains Monday. The flaps are furious. You know what I'm saying? Vroom.
Dude, somebody hit me. Oh, dude, I wish I remembered what it was. Somebody hit me with one in the DMs for the free ball and lady equivalent. And it was, I messaged him back. I said, where were you today? Because it would have absolutely killed. There's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to find it again. But thank you for your offering. Senning Show, you're live on the air. Who's this?
I got a crazy story for you, John. Hopefully prize-worthy.
Okay.
You could look up on the Charlotte County website, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office website. Go to June 6th.
Okay.
One of your favorite days. I wake up to one of my dogs at 4 o'clock in the morning barking like I've never, one out of my 6 dogs barking like I've never heard before, a screaming bark. So I just thought my brother was coming home from work early. I didn't think nothing of it. I went back to bed. About 2 minutes later, I hear my pool cage scraping along the pool deck floor like a tornado's coming. Like I thought I was being robbed.
Okay.
So I jumped out of bed.
Okay.
I jump out of bed. I go outside. Mind you, I have recently had serious heart issues where I have a pacemaker put in and serious issues.
I'm with you.
Okay. So I go outside to my lanai. No dog runs out like they normally would.
Okay.
I see mud and dirt all over my pool deck. 3 of my bottom leading to the street, to the road, 3 of my bottom pool screens are ripped to shreds.
Okay.
So I grab a flashlight. Now I'm thinking I'm definitely was robbed. They didn't want my motion lights in my backyard to go off. They came in through my screen.
Okay. You've got me.
So I grab the flashlight and I bend to the edge of the screen. I was face to face to where the ripped screen is, and all I see is a giant eye. I bug out. I back up. I look.
I don't know if this is going to be supernatural or this. I don't know where this is heading. Okay, so you see a giant eye. I'm still with you.
An 11.5-foot alligator got in my pool cage. My dog seen it through the sliding glass door, and then ripped up my cage to try to get back out.
They pieced out. They're like, nope.
So did the gator?
It took Charlotte County 2.5 hours. It was 5 cop cars at the end of the shift from 4 o'clock to 6 a.m. to get this beast.
To get it out
Go
of your
on Charlotte.
Of your
go to Charlotte County website.
I'm not gonna lie. This whole time, I thought he was gonna tell a story about having to turn his kid in for a crime. Yeah. So I thought that his kid had committed a crime and he was breaking back into his house or something. You really took me for a swerve there when it ended up being an alligator story.
6 inches from my face.
Damn,
less than 6 inches.
That is quite the tale. Sorry, I mean the prizes were for snitching on your kids, not for having a giant alligator in your backyard. But I do appreciate the sentiment.
Thanks for the ride.
Were you able to find your bracket yet?
No, you got to show me the break because I don't know what's wrong.
Oh yeah,
I'm signed in and stuff.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I would. It's really gonna bring me some sadness if you're beating me. I'll just tell you that. One more, and then we're gonna go to break. Senning Show. Who's this?
Hey, it's Corey. Vroom vroom, baby.
Vroom vroom. Vroom, vroom, vroom. What up?
Hey, John, I almost bailed on that race because everybody was out. Like all my guys are out.
Yeah, it was.
But it turned into like the best race of the year.
It was crazy, and I'm right there with you that for a period of time, a lot of those guys up front were kind of no-name guys, surprise players. I mean, some people were able to get their cars back together, but dude, the way they were just swapping the lead there with Bowman and Keselowski just going back and forth,
and the whole thing with Keselowski and Chase Elliott being on old tires and stuff. I love when somebody stays out and tries to keep people behind them with fresher tires. That's always good.
Yeah, I will say, Keselowski is a guy who owns his own team, and being a Michigan man, I was kind of secretly pulling for him there at the end, but Chase Elliott made that run and pulled it off. So yeah, you're absolutely right. It was a wild ride. I mean, it got rain early on under caution, and it kind of struggled to get going for a minute. But once it did, it was game on into the late night.
And let me explain something to Dizzy. Dizzy, we can't have no foreigners in our NASCAR, buddy. Come on.
I didn't want to say it that way, but thank you, sir. Just something about a voice that's telling you about NASCAR. I feel like it should have a little southern drawl to it at the very least.
I get that.
That's all. And I mean, that's probably hate speech these days, but
listen, Australians know a thing or two about racing. Have you not seen Mad Max?
No.
Oh, okay. Takes place.
But still, yeah. I'll have to check it out. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to dig into John's joints. There was an absolutely insane scenario that unfolded yesterday in the United States of America with a psychopath setting a fire to ambush firefighters. We'll dig into that and some much lighter stuff as well as Drew Garabo joins us for John's Joints. Coming up next on more Senning Show.
Smelled something kind of strange. I looked behind a can of paint and found a bag of Mary Jane.
Do not wait until your AC taps out in the middle of the night. Right now, Hawkins Service Co. is offering a $69 AC tune-up special. That's precision inspection, cleaning, and AC optimization from the pros. No hidden fees, no fine print, just $69 and peace of mind. Do not wait. This deal will be blowing away after July 31st. And they got tons of great deals going on right now. This summer, get 20% off smart home device installs from Hawkins Service Co. Think thermostats, lighting systems, and much more. They install it all. That as well runs through July 31st, and they're always running the special. If it's your first time using them and you are Bone fam, you heard about them through the Bone, 10% off. Make the call, 813-445-8209, and always online, HawkinsServiceCO.com. Hawkins, one call, handles it all.
From feeling kind of pissed to thinking, what the hell, I got my bowl out of the truck and broke off a little for myself.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. Let's have some summer fun in the summer sun, Bone fam. It's the Neutral Summer of Music, presented by Neutral. Win tickets to some of the summer's biggest shows, like Thomas Rhett, Katy Perry, Jason Aldean, and more. Plus, score Neutral summer gear, including hats and coolers. Scan the QR code at participating Florida Circle K's, Miller's Ale House, or at the Blind Goat in Tampa to enter. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Visit theboneonline.com for more details.
If you're the victim of a car crash, take back control of your life. Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
Wait, You're leaving us? You're matching pajamas.
Matching silk pajamas, babe.
You discover Heineken and now you go out to watch live sports?
We were literally made to wrap you in luxury, to vibe, to recharge your soul.
And your weighted blanket is here.
It's like a blanket, but so weighted.
Don't listen to your PJs. Head to the game with some friends and grab some ice-cold Heinekens. Must be 21 plus to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Are you ready to elevate your social game? This is John Senning here for Cava Social Club in downtown Bradenton, your go-to spot for fun and relaxation 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is not just any hangout. It's a community social club with incredible weekly events on Wednesday, karaoke night, where you can unleash that inner rock star. On Thursday, test your knowledge with trivia night. Great questions, great prizes, and even better company. You need some relaxation? Well, treat yourself on any one of their many massage nights and let your stress just melt away. Showcase your talents at open mic night or strategize with fellow enthusiasts with the ever-popular Sunday Chess Club. The night market is a must visit with local vendors, delicious food, and handcrafted goodies that are sure to make it a night to remember. Dive into the amazing events going on at Cava Social Club today and visit them online at thecavasocialclub.com and on social media at Cava Social Club. Cava Social Club, where your vibe attracts your tribe. Boola, baby!
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America. Fighting for you, Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Mike Helder for my friends at Lifeguard Imaging. One moment you're living your life, the next you're being told you have cancer, or your heart just stops. No warning, no second chance. Some of you have worked your whole life, saved smart, and planned for the future. Retirement should be your reward, but instead of traveling or relaxing, you're in a fight for your life. And here's the terrifying truth. Heart disease and cancer are still the top two killers for men and women. And most of the time, they strike without a single symptom. But there's hope. Lifeguard Imaging's high-accuracy CT scans detect heart disease and hundreds of cancers before symptoms appear, and the doctors tell you it's too late. Early detection gives you the opportunity to do something about it. It's quick, painless, and could literally save your life. I got my scan and the peace of mind. You can't put a price on it. And right now, just for Bone listeners, when you join Lifeguard Imaging's Legacy program, you'll get a second membership for 50% off. Give it to your spouse, your sibling, your best friend, someone you want to protect. Don't wait until it's too late. Go to lifeguardimaging.com today. Lifeguard Imaging, saving lives through early detection.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
If you're thinking about selling your home this summer, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home hassle-free and make the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain. The guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. Skip the hassle of costly repairs and sell your home stress-free. There's no showings, no open houses, and no waiting or wondering when your home's going to sell. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Are you looking for the best advice on home financing? Tune in every Saturday morning at 11 o'clock on 102.5 The Bone. With over 35 years in the mortgage business, the Loan Arranger is your key to smart financing.
Every Wednesday night from 8 to 10, it's the Ask the Dom Show on 102.5 The Bone. Brought to you by Park Place MRI.
This hour of Senning Show is brought to you by Hawkins Service Co. One call handles it all.
1025 The Bone. Wheel Raw Radio. WHPT, Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete. And 1073 WXGL HD2 St. Pete. Live from the WeatherTight Windows studio. And now, back to Senning Show. It's time for John's Choice with your host, John Senning.
Let's go, girls.
Better late than never and early.
Come on.
It's a miracle. That's one of the only mistakes I've made today. Welcome back to Senning Show. It's time to fire up the joints. The joints being the news of the day, the news of the weekend. I'm John Senning. He's Dizzy. And that man sitting across the console from me. You know him. You love him. I was going to make a Fitzwell reference, but always hanging swell and finally introduced me to the real Fitzwell. He is Drew Garabo. Dude, I felt starstruck. I didn't want to tell him that. I got a chance to meet Peter Fitzwell over the weekend, and I played it as cool as I could, but he messaged me even the next day. He was like, "Oh, so nice to meet you," and I couldn't even bring myself to tell him that I felt like I was in the presence of greatness when I met him. Oh, sorry. What do I? Oh, I guess I jinxed myself.
Hi.
Oh, hey, welcome.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing good. What's going on?
Everything's great. Yeah, Peter Fitzwell and his wife are two of the nicest people. They have introduced us to so many great people out there, and I'm so happy that two of my favorite dudes finally got to meet each other.
Yeah, it really was. I wanted more time with him, which hopefully, and I told him that hopefully we can all hang out, in a little less, noisy, lots of things going on environment sometime. But that was a great time on Friday night.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's so crazy when you think of how the music and everything had become such a pivotal part of Drew Garabo Live for so long. And then you go to those shows and it's like, it's our people. Like it is this community. I was saying that to Danielle, just thinking about, how in a way it's been a relatively short time, with the tentacles kind of in that community and that type of music. It's just amazing to see the amount of people that gravitate to the show and the station and also are at those concerts, because it's just wild.
It is, and to walk around the crowd, whether it's the lawn or backstage or wherever, and get so much love from people. Man, people are so great. I think we may have missed our window, though, with you and Mr. Fitzwell, because it's really hard to get you to cross the bridge from St. Pete to Tampa, and it is even more difficult to get Mr. Fitzwell to exit the Land O'Lakes gates of Caliente.
I get that. I 100% get that. And I don't, it seems like there's a lot of stuff on social media now that people are leaning into the Tampa v. St. Pete beef, and I don't really have any of that. I mean, I'm partial to St. Pete because I live over here, but I don't dislike Tampa. There is just something that gets ingrained in your DNA. And for you, I feel like a little bit different because you come over every day for work. You're also more adventurous, but still for so many people, it's like you might as well be going to another country by heading into Pinellas County or Hillsborough County from wherever the hell you live.
I know. And we live in such a great area with so many cool spots that it's a shame to stick to one. But man, that Caliente crew, they do not like leaving campus.
Dude, and Pinellas doesn't, I feel like they're missing a major opportunity on the Pinellas side for that kind of place. I guess there's probably some legalities to do it on the beach, major legalities. Like you'd have to make the whole thing private. But still, I think there's lots of areas in Clearwater, St. Pete, maybe Largo. I mean, I don't know if that's...
Yeah, but I was talking to my buddy Alan, who owns a castle, about it, and I was wondering out loud why those lifestyle places ended up where they did, and it's because of the laws. Like Pasco, I believe, is the only county that got it right when it comes to adult entertainment like that.
Is that why... And correct me if I'm wrong, but is there a full nude liquor bar out there?
There are a couple of them, and that's the only. I think Monroe County down in the Keys and Pasco County might be the only two counties in the state of Florida where you can have liquor and full nudity.
Oh, that's wild.
Which is so odd. Like we are living in such an antiquated mentality. You know?
And it is crazy. And obviously, we're known for some of the best full nude spots in really the world, probably, definitely in the country. But there is something so interesting about it. And I think like 2001's got it right because they've got Riveters right next door, so you can kind of tie it in. And there's a
there's a bit of cohesion there, so you can make it work. But when you go into those places and you're like, well, let me go up to the soda machine and get myself I'm going to do a mix of a root beer and a Sprite and get crazy tonight. It is just like we should be able to enjoy adult beverages while doing adult things.
Yeah.
And do you know where the roots of that come from? Is that just because they think drunk people and BHs are just too much to mix? Like when you look into that as a drunk man, you just won't be able to hold yourself?
Yeah, I would imagine that's got something to do with that. I know they passed a lot of laws during the 90s, I believe, in Hillsborough about that. And then they tried that 6-foot buffer zone for lap dances where the girl like could do a lap dance, but not a lap dance. She had to be 6 feet away from you. And then Joe Redner was fighting against that. It's a fascinating tale, but how dumb is it, John, that in order to get booze, you got to go to Riveters, and they do the best with what they can, but you get a liquor drink there that you can't bring next door, but then you can be drunk and look at nudity.
Dude, Diz, you would have never been able to get that lap dance that you got at Hush with that 6-foot rule. Over there, yeah.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah, that wouldn't have went quite the way that it did.
Hush.
Dude, that scenario you told me about with Pasco and it kind of being out there in the laws, it rings similar to me of like the early days of the Juggalo gathering. Almost like they find these places. You're like, we're in a field in BFE. I think that may be hate speech. BFE somewhere up in Ohio, like some random place nobody's ever heard of, just because it's kind of the Wild West in those places. And not saying it's the Wild West out there, but clearly you can get away with a little bit more than you can in other places.
It's not the Wild West.
Exactly. John's Joints brought to you by Bubble Down Car Wash. Summer is upon us, and that means a lot of things are working against your car. Maybe you're going to the beach, you're getting sand in there every day. We got afternoon rain showers, the bugs, whatever it may be. You need to think about that unlimited membership plan, which ensures your vehicle can stay clean every single day. Locations in Tampa, Brandon, Riverview, Wesley Chapel, and Palm Harbor. There is one near you. Get in there. Let them know you heard us talking about them on 102.5 The Bone, and you will have the cleanest car in town every time. Down. You were sharing with us when you got in here. I had told in the first segment this funny instance where a guy was showing a DJ set on his big screen in his car, and I was certain that the DJ that was DJing in the video was the same as our driver, and I was asking him questions as if that was fact until he finally had to bring it up on the screen that it was not him, and it just took us down the road of the unpredictability of getting Ubers, and you really don't know what you're going to get. I mean, sometimes you get a dream, a guy or a woman who is ready to play the music you want in a nice car that seems new and the air conditioning's blasting, but everything else seems to fit into some other category where one of those things will be off. The person will be weird, the car will be smelly, the car will be old, the music will be there or it won't. And it sounds like you got a nice fun pick there on Friday or Saturday night as well.
Yeah, it's just the weirdest thing, especially like long drives. Like you said, ours was like 40 minutes. She picks us up at the house because we're going to be responsible.
Yeah,
we're going to have beverages. And immediately I don't know how any human being drives around for hours at a time and listens to nothing. Not podcasts, not our station, not music. You're psycho.
Do you think there's something that they would, and I don't even know what this would be, that they want to listen to that they know, like maybe it is podcast. Like, I mean, who knows what it could be? Maybe it's podcast in another language, because I can't wrap my head around driving around for a living and sitting in silence.
No, and obviously we're not talking to anyone like that now because they're driving around listening to us.
Exactly.
But we're talking to the rest of those psychopaths who are driving around listening to nothing. And so I said, hey, Saturday night, how about some music? Nothing. And so I waited a couple minutes. I said, how do we feel about music? Love it? Hate it? She put on a competing rock station at the lowest possible volume. And it's the Chili Peppers. Of course it is. And I'm singing along, trying to get her to like drown out my singing.
That's the vibe, yeah.
And I'm like, with the birds I share this. Nothing at all.
Did you already say, does she appear to not be from here? Is she speaking an accent?
She didn't speak. Her name could have been American, could have been Latina. I'm not sure. It was the weirdest thing. And so we drive the whole way there it's almost worse listening to music at a barely discernible volume than it is no music at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess all sorts of different people want to do that. And I don't think that it is absolutely a prerequisite that you have to have a personality. But getting in those cars with someone that just will not speak or has no interest in speaking, it's uncomfortable. And I think, not that I think they're going to kill me or anything, but my mind starts going, why are you doing a job where you have to be around people all day and you can't
muster up a word to say.
It's a customer service job.
It is. There should be a little bit more, but that again feeds into anybody can do it. You're like, this isn't a company where you go and you give them a resume and you sit down for an interview. You press a couple buttons and click the user agreement on a website, and then surprise, you work for Uber. You have a job, and it doesn't matter whether you're a psychopath that doesn't listen to music or you're cool.
Did you see the story last week about the WNBA and NBA reporter who was pepper sprayed in an Uber?
Oh, I think I remember seeing the headline, but I don't remember the finer points. But was it a misunderstanding?
Yeah. So now on Uber, you can order Uber Comfort, which lets you set, like, I would like music, I would like air conditioning, I would like all that. So she set Comfort because she wanted air conditioning. Lady goes to pick her up, windows down, no AC. So the female reporter says, excuse me, I ordered this. Would you mind turning on the air conditioning? Lady pulled over on the side of 85 South and said, get out of my vehicle. And the lady's like, no, I'm not getting out of your vehicle on a highway. I ordered air conditioning. She's like, if you don't get out, I'm going to pepper spray.
Oh, no.
And she's like, I'm not getting. Sure enough, she got pepper sprayed by the Uber driver.
Dude, that's hardcore.
Right?
There probably is a little bit of, there is in our society everywhere, the F around and find out. You've seen so many videos where somebody does something that's actually wrong in an Uber, and then the Uber driver is immediately like, you need to get out, you need to get out. And probably those people that are just waiting for somebody to step to them or offend them or do something that they think they're justified to then, I would think pepper spraying would be a last resort.
Yeah.
I would hope that it's not. If somebody asks to have the AC on and the window up, that's enough to start kicking people out and assaulting them.
Correct.
Can you just kick someone off on the highway?
You can, I guess.
I would think you would need a little bit of justification. Like per if Uber is, I'm sure they're going to do a little bit of research and find out why this all went down. I would think if they found out it was a disagreement about the air conditioning and you kicked them out on the side of the interstate, I would like to think that they would be in trouble.
Have you ever had to try to get an Uber to pick you up on the side of an interstate?
No.
Oh, I have.
No.
Halloween
Why
a couple
were
of
you
years
there?
ago. Well, Halloween a couple of years ago, I was responsible again. Knew I was going to drink, so I took an Uber. The guy's getting on the Veterans, and another car came up and hit us from behind. So he pulls over and he's like, "I'm sorry, I gotta cancel this ride." I'm like, "We're on the side of the Veterans Expressway."
Yeah, there should be something in place.
Yeah.
You would think there would be a protocol for an emergency. I don't know who, even a road ranger. Maybe Diz could get with your people.
Yeah, what's up with your crew?
Get with your
Hit
people.
up Coop,
Hit up 611 and scoop them up. So they ended up coming and get you, right?
Yeah, I ordered another Uber, and three drivers in a row canceled because they saw I was on the Veterans. And finally, when the fourth one picked up the ride, I called him immediately. I said, "Hey, listen, please don't cancel. I was in another Uber, and he got hit, and I'm stuck." He's like, "Okay, I get you. No problem."
The Uber accident is a bizarre thing to do. I'm sure I've told you before, but I was with Evander. They used to work here. Early promo days, we were going to a beer festival over at the Coliseum in St. Pete. This guy picked us up. As soon as we got in, we were uncomfortable because he was like 100 years old, like decrepit, looked like death was knocking on his door. Multiple times on the way there, uncomfortable situations where it seemed like he didn't know what was going on. And sure enough, we were just about to pull into the parking lot of the Coliseum, and it's weird over there because the ramp for 375 runs right along the Coliseum.
Yep.
And dude, this guy was probably going 60 miles an hour getting on the ramp to the interstate. This guy did not see him and just turned right into him, and the dude half rear end, half side swiped us. And we were rocked. It hit us pretty good. And this guy just had zero reaction. He was like, he barely knew what was going on at all. And we sat there and we both kind of looked at each other like, are we good? Are we good? We left. We left this. We were walking distance where we needed to go. And we just, we ended up leaving. But it's a weird thing when a stranger is driving you around and you get in a car accident.
It is. And then we had to get picked up from Caliente because we party busted back with some friends. And you can't get into Caliente in the middle of the night because there's no guard gate. So we had to get someone to let us out of the back gate of Caliente. And then the security guard in the golf cart wouldn't give us a ride because he carries a gun. So he's like, I can't let you in my golf cart because I'm packing.
Oh, dude.
It was a nightmare.
That sounds like the beginning of a scary movie.
Oh,
You're trapped inside the nudist colony.
Old ass people with their
How many people do you think are in an Uber when the Uber gets involved in a road rage incident?
Oh,
and then has to sit there.
Dude, I cannot believe that I didn't share this with you. It was the guy. It was that guy. It was the guy with that I had the misunderstanding with.
Oh, okay.
Got into
to me, there's no such thing as a mild road rage incident.
Right.
Yeah.
We had to get off to go downtown. You know, when you're coming from the north on 275 and you got to get off to go downtown St. Pete. So like that 375, 175 interchange thing. So he's in the far lane because we've got to get off, and there's a giant truck behind us that is clearly thinking, get out of the fast lane, when I can understand this guy's got to go left in just a little bit.
Yeah.
So this guy starts flashing his lights. Danielle, of course, completely oblivious to this. I had to tell her after the fact. And I'm looking back and I'm looking up at the driver. He starts tapping the brakes.
Oh, no, on a truck?
So I know that things are getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And sure enough, this big truck whips around and gets right next to us. And I'm, thinking the worst. I'm just waiting for this guy to pull his strap out of the window and start shooting. He pulled up right next, rolled down the window for a second, was kind of mean mugging, and then just zoomed off. But that's a great question. You would think you wouldn't be getting into it if you have people in it, but I think a lot of people don't have the wherewithal to fight it. Like once they're enraged, it doesn't matter who's in the car with them. They're just ready to go.
Boy, but if you're prone to road rage, Uber driver, not the profession for you.
Yeah. And there's probably, I guess if you have a legitimate criminal rap, I'd love to see like a quiz. Like it's like they give you a scenario and then you have to decide how you're going to react. It's like, man flashes his lights. Do you A, tap your brakes repeatedly?
Start
B,
shooting.
Get over. C, flip the bird out of the window. Man, so I tried a new experiment yesterday, actually.
Go on.
I put my phone in the drawer first thing when I woke up yesterday morning. I said, I'm going to be phoneless all day long on a Sunday. I thought it was a nice thing. So I put it in the drawer in the morning, and I did not touch it until right before I went to bed. And as soon as I popped up Twitter, everything I saw was about this story. And I was trying to grasp exactly how bad it was and what was going on. But an ambush, an absolute ambush. 2 firefighters were killed and another wounded in northwest Idaho yesterday when a lone gunman started a fire and then ambushed the responding firefighters. And the thing is that I was kind of seeing the updates because they were looking for him for a period of time. So there was this window where they thought he was going to do more, and people were really freaked out. The third firefighter, currently stable but fighting for his life, it's about 30 miles east of Spokane, Washington. Details still scarce at this point, which is kind of unbelievable. Not unbelievable, but there's still a lot that they don't seem to know. Officials saying, we do believe that the suspect started the fire, and we do believe the fire was set intentionally for the ambush. This was a total ambush. These firefighters did not have a chance. Norris, that's the local sheriff, said that the unidentified suspect was found dead on Canfield Mountain with a gun nearby. Officers exchanged fire with him, although it's not clear if police killed him or he killed himself. No motive really has been established at this point. His body has been removed from the scene. They haven't, at least last I've seen, they've not given his name or the people who were killed name. So kind of that's what we know. He lit the fires, the firefighters came there, and then he started shooting and then went missing into the woods for a period of time. Just really scary when people do that. And I don't want to use this phrase, but like find a break in the system to be able to get people who are there to help you so that you can do bad things for them. Not that we haven't seen that in the past, but lighting a fire so that you can then turn evil on the firefighters when they show up there is next level crazy.
I'm sure you've seen the number one conspiracy theory too.
Oh no, do tell.
That it happened on the anniversary, I think the 25th anniversary maybe, of a group of white supremacists. Their house was burned down by the government yesterday in history. And the first thing I thought of was Ruby Ridge. Like
that's where I thought you were. For some reason, immediately I was thinking Ruby Ridge.
Same. But and maybe it's not that far off. But that's the number one thing I've seen is that. But like, why would you wait so long to commemorate that anniversary by killing innocent firefighters?
Dude, there is this phenomenon, which, everybody can believe whatever they want and think whoever's taking it's not whatever path, but like where everybody who is so entrenched in their political beliefs, like there's this window after a horrific crime where everybody's goal in life is to prove that the person that committed the crime believes the opposite of what they believe.
Right.
Where at this point, I don't know. It feels like it could go either way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're seeing enough of people on both sides committing terrible crimes that I think we're kind of getting out of the window of all of these crimes are happening from these people. And it's just like the joy that people seem to find. Because I saw what I saw, and I do not know if it's true at all, was they were saying this guy's parents, and they had them in Washington, D.C., and they were wearing the red hats, and people were sharing. They go, oh, big spoiler, look what happened here. And I'm just like, the fact that these people seem to find joy in being able to put this on somebody who believes something different politically or may have voted for somebody once or twice. It is already so many just gross narratives that happen right after terrible crimes. And this is the newest one where it's like, I got to prove that this is a lib, or I got to prove that this is a right-wing wacko, and that's going to make everybody feel better.
Yeah, we can't approach them from a humanitarian perspective of let's have compassion for the firefighters and first responders who lost their lives.
Do you know anything about Ruby Ridge, Diz?
No.
Dude, there was
Randy Weaver.
We watched, I'm trying to think. Do you know of a movie that was done about it that was done well? Because this movie that just popped up has who the hell is this? I've never seen this. This was Randy Quaid. Oh. I don't ever think I saw this one. But dude, you should watch it because that story is wild. I mean, what happened there and how the government came in and ended up killing this woman. Was she holding her baby when they killed this woman?
She was either holding her baby or pregnant.
Yeah, like they were this family, which may or may not have been a little off the grid and a little anti-government.
Sure.
For those reasons alone, pretty much, maybe a little bit extra stuff. Dude, they surrounded the property and eventually just started picking them off. Had snipers just picking a sniper picked off the mom when she was standing in the doorway to the home, and it's a wild, wild story.
Yeah, that story plus the Waco compound really started chipping away at trust your government unconditionally that a lot of people thought, you know?
Yeah, and I watched a lot of stuff on Waco, and they did a great job, Taylor Kitsch, with the reenactment of that one, which is awesome. If you haven't seen that, Diz, that's definitely one to put on your list. But it's just like, can you or should you be allowed to exist out there? And like, how many guns can you have before the government needs to come, not just knocking at your door, but potentially tearing down the whole place and killing people? It's we haven't, surprisingly enough, you would think we'd be in the era of more Wacos and Ruby Ridges, and it surprisingly, knock on wood, that hasn't happened.
Well, it's a TV show.
They've probably done a few different.
They've definitely one you were talking about
with Randy Quaid,
with the Taylor whatever.
Waco,
that was on.
Waco.
Yeah, that was on HBO. I think.
Paramount.
Yeah,
that is really, really good.
Oh, so good.
And that was when I watched a lot of documentary stuff after that, but that's where I started getting an idea for just how wild that was. I mean, he was having sex with everybody, and but
he's hot.
Yeah, I mean, he was Taylor Kitsch, and the man could play. Man, he could jam. That Waco band.
Oh yeah,
what a thing. I have to ask you, in the world of documentary, because I've been being somewhat quiet as I know you're getting a little bit further along. Please tell me about your thoughts regarding Karen Reed.
Okay.
Because you're watching the documentary.
Yes.
And obviously everybody knows they found her not guilty at this point. But it's so crazy. My thing, and this was before the trial, I'm watching it thinking, who in the hell let her do this?
Right.
Like it's she's so involved and says everything and anything. Like there's no governor on what she's saying. It's just a woman who's about to experience a retrial. You think somebody on her legal team would have been like, let's wait till the second trial until you make this documentary.
Especially because she is so unlikable and so unbelievable. That was my takeaway, is that, there might have been shoddy police work. I'm right now 85% convinced bitch did it. Like she is lying through teeth. She's like, oh, what did I hit some 200-pound person and not know about? I think she did.
So did you get to any of the stuff yet about the maybe the more cover-up stuff on the end of the people that are there?
The reflector stuff in the snow?
Well, the reflector stuff in the snow to me was a little shoddy.
Yeah.
But the text message from the lady in the middle of the night,
No.
I think once you get to that's where the real seeds of doubt start coming in.
Okay.
All of the people inside that house, all of their middle of the night communication that they then just put on repeated butt dials is a big part of it. And you'll get into more about what they did with their phones and the guy that was in charge of the whole thing. A lot of stuff comes up about the dog. Did you get to the dog stuff yet?
No.
Yeah, because he pretty much, a little bit of a spoiler for you, he has dog attack marks all over his body.
Okay, I was wondering what those were.
Yeah.
I knew he had the marks.
Yeah, so he has these marks that different professionals, these court people get paid to say what, they've got people that come in and say they've been able to test it for DNA and it was a dog attack and all of that.
All right.
So I think it comes in waves, and I think you're still very much in the wave of very easy to believe. I still, to this day, I don't know.
Right.
I agree with everything you said.
Yeah.
Unlikable, obnoxious at times, got almost this savior complex of sorts that comes off. But the craziness, the way that the people up there have gotten involved in this is, and it really seems to become almost like the Blue Lives Matter people, that if you're pro Karen Reed, you're anti-police because her man that died was a police officer. And it's very, very interesting. Once you're all done with it, you'll have to start reading about the new conspiracies that people believe that this jury was bought and paid for, and that they are all these people that were part of the Free Karen Reed movement that somehow lied their way, at least a bunch of them lied their way into the jury, which seems like it would be hard to do when you have everybody trying to work against that. But it's very fascinating. I was looking for any breaking news. They just signed a major deal for it's either going to be a movie or a series based on the whole thing, which,
you know who should play her is the sister in Bloodline. Remember, the one sister on Bloodline, she looks just like Karen Reed, in my opinion. Coach Taylor's sister, along with that other
Bloodline show.
Yeah.
By the way, we're just throwing out TV shows here. Bloodline's another one. That's gotta be on your
Bloodline's
list.
so good.
One of my favorite shows, definitely Netflix shows of all time.
Oh my God, yeah. Animal Kingdom's really good too, by the way. The first 2 episodes.
We've been talking about starting it. My parents have been binging it for weeks, and Linda Cardellini might be the lady that you're talking about.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, she does.
Doesn't she look like Karen
She
Reed?
does. I know her. She was in she's been in tons of good stuff, but she was in Grandma's Boy. Way back in the day. She was also in Dead to Me with
Nicole Kidman?
Christina Applegate.
Oh, that's right.
What the hell's Bloodline?
Bloodline is an amazing show,
So
and
good.
the lead actor is Kyle Chandler, who's Coach Taylor from Friday Night Lights, and it's just about a family that's kind of got all sorts of dirty little side deals going on that is ultimately owns a bed and breakfast down in Key West, and like Kyle Chandler is kind of the brother-son figure that tries to keep it all together, and he's got a real bad brother that's doing bad things. And it's a great it's a great show.
Season 1, phenomenal. Season 2, good. Season 3, meh.
Yeah, they took some liberties. They took some liberties on season 3. I don't know what they were trying to do. There's a new one on Netflix too. We started it. Oh, The Waterfront.
I saw it come up. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. It's so funny. So we started it, and immediately, like 30 minutes into it, I said, this feels like a Poor Man Bloodline. I cannot get down with it. The acting was bad and stuff. And then my dad called me the next day. And he was like, oh, you got to watch this. It reminds me of Bloodline. I'm like, maybe not completely. Diz brought up to me earlier. He watched it over the weekend, and I know you watched it as well, as the Poop Cruise. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, very over-dramatized, but still made me never want to go on a cruise.
Could have told the story in 30 minutes. They
Very
were
much
definitely like stretching it out.
Yeah. Funny, though. Like, really well done.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's not that much poop.
The worst part to me was when you hear that when the tugboats come and they pull the boat. Long story short, they had to go in the showers to go relieve themselves. And once the tugboats started pulling them, the boat started slanting. All the stuff.
Oh, so it started like running through the boat.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Some guy said he was in the elevator and it sounded like rain.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
yeah.
Bad.
No.
Yeah, you
Real
would.
bad.
Oh,
Dude,
my
that
God.
would be a nightmare.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
For
you especially.
That would change me. I think that might change me, and not for the good. If I ever had to experience that.
No.
All right, let's step aside for a moment. I got plenty more of actual joints to dig into today. Dude, did you see the story? I think it broke over the weekend of the bison situation in Yellowstone.
Yeah, like
Dude,
Dave's
that
burning
is
alive in the.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. And Tom Brady might have been playing the long con. If you thought that he lost the Giselle battle because she has a sexy, hot jiu-jitsu instructor, he may have been playing a game that nobody could possibly ever see. Is he shacking up with the hottest woman in showbiz? We'll poke around and try to find out next with more John's Joints coming your way on Senning Show. But first, we'd love to tell you about Win Derby, an institution right here in beautiful, clean St. Petersburg. If you're into playing table games, this is your spot. It's like the good old days. You got $5 minimums at some of the tables, free cocktails, free appetizers every few hours, and the big game changer these days, the murals on the wall that will help you understand the finer points of Ultimate Texas Hold'em.
Playing card games can be extremely sociable. You'd get a good group around you, whether you brought them or you met new friends there, and you're playing games for money. Free drinks while you're playing select table games, free appetizers as well, and they're so easy to learn. Like John said, peep the mural on the wall if you want to see what beats what.
And right now, Win Derby wants you to host your next event there. Is it a small office gathering? You want to play some table games, get a buffet that they'll have filled up with great food, maybe something bigger out in the back greenery area. You imagine it. You can host your event at Win Derby. For information on tournaments and everything you need to know, check them out today at win-derby.com.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. The Bay has elite wings, but whose are the best?
Tell me likey. Tell me what wingy.
102.5 The Bone and Stella Artois are on the hunt for the Bay's best wings. Visit one of the participating restaurants and enjoy a Stella Artois with some wings. Then scan the QR code and vote. The restaurant with the most votes will be crowned the best wings in the Bay and be featured on the Mike Calta Show. Plus, you can win cool Stella gear just for voting. For details and locations, visit theboneonline.com. Thanks to Hooters, Hurricane Eddie's in Dunedin, Abe's Place, Norton's East Side, and Downtown Pizza. Now, a Bone traffic update from the Farah and Farah Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center.
You'd do well to avoid the area in St. Pete of Tyrone Boulevard between 66th Street North and 58th Street. At last check, the roadway was completely closed. Also, there's a separate wreck southbound along Tyrone Boulevard at 30th Avenue North, which has had the 3 right lanes blocked. Interstate volumes building along both sides of the bay, but so far it's still pretty manageable. This is Jim with traffic.
With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can receive an all-cash offer and move when you're ready. No showings, no open houses, no stress. Call 855-299-SOLD or go to markspain.com and start packing.
How do we respond to lowball offers from insurance companies?
With relentless litigation. For the justice you're entitled to after an accident, you know who to call.
Make it a Farah fight. Farah and Farah.
Tampa.
If you ever find yourself inside the emergency room, surrounded by these sounds, by these voices, by these machines, may you find our team of expert emergency caregivers at your side.
You're gonna be okay. Just grab my hand.
This is the power of the human spirit. Advent Health ER, 24/7 access to convenient emergency care. Go to theerexperts.com for locations near you. Advent Health. Feel whole.
The bigger, better, faster summer event is on at Jerry Ohm Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Get deals on over 1,000 vehicles in stock during the Employee Pricing Plus event. Save up to $15,000 on new 2025 models, and your first 3 payments are on us. And don't forget to visit our website and enter for your chance to win a new Ram 1500. It's all happening at the #1 Ram dealer in the U.S., Jerry Ohm. Tampa is Ohm Country. Online at jerryohm.com. Call 1-800-840-0798 for complete details.
Hard Rock Bet Battle of the Bets has already paid out over $10 million in bonus bets. Are you missing out? Play today for just $1. Thousands of people have won bonus bets all across Florida with bonus bet wins as big as $350. Download the Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook app today. Plus, new players bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, did you know that with Frontier Fiber Internet, the best Wi-Fi isn't just for VIPs anymore?
So even if I have less than 1 million followers?
Or me, a total noob?
What if I'm not in the metaverse yet?
Yeah, now everyone can get Wi-Fi 7 with a premium Eero router on Fiber 500 and up. Now starting at only $39.99 per month. Switch to the most advanced Wi-Fi on 100% fiber internet. Only from Frontier. Good to go. In select areas, price for 12 months with autopay. ETF terms apply. Max speeds wired. Actual average and Wi-Fi speed vary.
I met my wife in law school at the University of Florida. She was from upstate New York and I was from Kentucky. We met at a daily mass at St. Augustine's. She was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen in my life. After communion, I followed her out of the church and got her phone number. The rest is history. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Little did we know that one day we would have 4 children and the largest injury firm in the world. All 4 work in the business. It's a family business. Did I ever see this coming? Hell no. We just worked very hard and treated our clients like we would want to be treated, like family. It's a full-service injury firm, auto accidents, medical malpractice, workers' compensation, Social Security, and insurance disputes. We're open 24/7, 365 days a year. Visit forthepeople.com and we can get to work on your case. No recovery, no fee. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
When it really matters, choose Farrah and Farrah. Here for you, here for good. Tampa.
Now, a weather update from the Sun Toyota Weather Center.
Toyota.com. I'm meteorologist Jim Weber in the Sky Tower Weather Center. For tonight, mainly cloudy skies. We could see a few passing showers as well, mainly along the coastal areas. Overnight low down to 76. Then for tomorrow, scattered showers and storms working their way inland as the day goes on. Daytime high of 88. That rain chance right around 50%.
Now, back to Real Raw Radio. Sponsored by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
And now, back to Senning Show. With your host, John Senning.
Welcome back to Senning Show. Burning down these last few joints. Making way for Drew Garabo Live. Yeah. At the top of the hour. Yeah. Just like bums.
What happened on Friday that I'm supposed to know about?
Oh, yeah. I made everybody. I did an in-the-room tease, which I love doing. So call it snitching, call it wet snitching, call it dry snitching. But I woke up to an email this morning, and the headline just had me peaked right away. Hold on, let me find it.
Oh, yeah.
It was from John Brennan. And there it is. The subject line on the email reads, Messy 102.5.
Uh-oh.
So immediately I'm thinking, what have we done? What did we do again? What have I'm thinking that something we did was messy, caused the mess, whatever it is.
Toenails.
And then there is I don't know if I'm supposed to protect the innocence of anybody involved here, but I'm fine calling him the number one snitch in the whole building. I'm copied on an email that initially came from Isaiah. Which if you have done something wrong in your life here, Isaiah will ensure that everybody knows about it. But this, I don't know what the line of egregious is and who you tell and who you don't tell, because I'd like to say somebody needed to be told.
All right.
So there is an email from Isaiah that came across on Saturday. I guess he was here running the board all day. Thanks. I did the Mike O show with Mike and Patrick Smith on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. And he says, yesterday I came into the Bone studio and the floor is a mess. Looks like someone's been in here cracking peanuts all day.
Not me.
I've left photos in the attachments. And the photos are attached, and it looks like the Texas Roadhouse floor. Like there's not just a couple shells. Like there's something. The picture's not sharp enough to know what it is. There's debris everywhere.
All right.
So I get the email from John that says, I sent this to you and Mo. Was it like this in the studio during your show on Friday? And I said, I didn't notice that, and we didn't have any food or anything on Friday.
I wasn't here on Friday.
Well, right.
Mo was. Sat right where you're sitting right now.
And I will. Oh yeah. Dude,
still there?
I didn't realize
still there?
that. Dude, how insane is that? I'm
this.
looking and it's still, most of it is still here.
Oh yeah, looks terrible.
It is definitely peanuts, I think.
Looks awful. Like, who does that? Who leaves their trash everywhere? Some trash ass, probably.
So I did get a response. Damn, what the hell was I doing messaging people this early? I did get a response. I probably rolled over to go back to sleep after I saw it. 3-word response.
From whom?
From John Brennan.
What'd it say? It was Mo?
It was Mo.
Lucky guess.
Again, I don't know what you do, and JoJo's not here, but it's so interesting when things like this happen, and it's enough, and this isn't necessarily dedicated towards John Brennan, but it's enough to send emails to people at 7 o'clock in the morning, but not enough to get anybody to come in here and clean up the mess that's now here 3 days later.
Look, we're all adults. I'm not saying there should be a dustbuster on the wall or anything, but like if you see a mess, I mean, you can complain about it and send emails and whatnot, or you could just look out for your fellow guy and clean it up and then rat Mo out for doing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could, and it really makes you look like a G if you send the email and say, hey, this was a terrible mess. Here's all of the pictures I took, but don't worry, I cleaned it up.
Right. Like a considerate person would do.
Yeah, but instead.
You rent here, homie.
That's so funny, dude. Wait, are you talking about Isaiah or Mo?
Isaiah. Like you're barely here. Like you're a guest pretty much in our home. If you see a mess, take a picture of the mess, clean it up, take an after picture, and go, hey, look what I did, and I'm only in here 1 day a week.
I will say, I think he's and I'm not saying this to kiss his ass. I think they lean on him more than anybody would like to think.
Oh.
I think he's the most reliable person to run the board. Like, I don't know off the top of my head who runs the board. I mean, Diz used to run the board a lot, but he's not really in the market to do that anymore. So I can't think of the last person that ran a board that wasn't Isaiah.
Yeah, Diz said, I ain't putting up no tents, bitch.
He did. He said, no tents, no boards, no peanut shells. And you stayed true to your word. So, if you do want to bring that up to Mo at any point, I don't know if he was eating You think he was?
You don't know? It's definitely Mo.
Well, no. I know it was him.
Yeah.
I know it was him.
He was throwing the shells on
I'm
the
just
floor.
wondering, is he legit over here cracking peanuts on the air and then throwing them in the...
No way. He wouldn't do anything like that, John.
Yeah.
And not only do I know he did something like that, I'm sure someone's like, hey, you're dropping peanuts everywhere. And he's like, man, it ain't my problem.
Yeah. Isaiah will clean that up.
Yeah.
His ass will be in here tomorrow.
Get JoJo in here.
So, yeah, I did. I had forgot to share that with you. So,
At least I'm not a suspect.
No. You were clear.
I try to leave my area clean.
You were cleared. But it is interesting because now the more that I look at this area, and I'm not putting all of this on Mo, there are absolutely little pibbles of whatever that is in the keyboard, and then there's also a crustified. Like you would think that's snot. Like it's definitely, and it's green and it's crusted to the.
Probably split
well,
in
listen,
soup.
When it's your birthday week, you could do what you want.
That is true. I did. That is. I do
This is
apologize.
Hot Girl Week.
I didn't realize before I said all of that it was his birthday week. So I'll clean that up, Mo. Don't you worry.
Peanut shells. I mean, thank God. Like I am automatically not a suspect because
that is true. If there's peanut debris, then it is not thee. If that was you saying it. Man, it was funny because a couple weeks ago we had a story about a bison goring somebody at Yellowstone, and it was just a couple days after my parents had been there, and to hear them tell the story of. Like, they've been to some really cool places. I don't think Yellowstone was one of their favorites just because of the tourist element of it, where you go to these beautiful places and they're kind of like people let their kids run wild everywhere. Like, you're looking at this cool stuff, but there's people everywhere. I mean, there's legit, like, you're not soaking in nature and peace and quiet. You go up to look at Old Faithful, and I think they got there early, so they saw some before it really ramped up. But they were saying these dumbass people get, oh no.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Look at what we have
Our
done.
boss.
No.
You made our boss come in here with
don't
a
do that.
with
Don't
the
do that.
friggin'
No,
broom,
please,
a
please,
dustpan.
No. That was John. That wasn't directed towards you.
No, it was Isaiah.
It was Isaiah. It was that feels. This feels really wrong.
Oh man, this is terrible.
What is this?
The broom? Yeah, no. Can't you like put in a note with the people that come and do this that say we had an instance? So could you maybe privy us to the information, because I found it shocking that first of all it happened, and secondly that seemingly Mo admitted to you what it was. Do you know what it is?
Mo said something along the lines of, I don't know. Let's be honest. Unless it's an emergency on the weekend, I read like half of an email. And then
Dude, that mic is totally dysfunctional.
Yeah, what's up with that mic?
Oh, really?
Try turning it towards me.
It's probably got peanut shells stuck in it.
Is that better?
No, it's still weird. It's like
Not
you're talking to a
directional.
paper cup.
It sounds like you're nasally, like you're holding your nose when you're talking.
Yeah, that one's on.
6.
And it's in program.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
There we
what's
go.
going on?
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Oh, yeah. If any engineers are listening, Mic 5's broken as well. There's peanut shells all up in
Mo
it.
did it.
So I read about half that email, and I was just like, ugh, whatever, forward. That's why I just forward it, and I don't really think about how it's going to come across. But then he wrote back something that was along the lines of, I think I might have emptied my backpack, and it might have been in there.
Emptied his backpack.
Right, but
you know how I keep my shells in my backpack.
I might have emptied my backpack.
I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. It was something about like, oh, my backpack could have been in my backpack, whatever. But it doesn't matter to me. Like for me, it's insane that messes could be left and just be like, okay, well, whatever, leave it there.
So in your perfect world, we could use this as a coaching and counseling session. Like, would you have preferred that maybe Isaiah, along with snitching somebody out, had picked it up a little?
Yes, of course. I mean, as I stand here with a broom,
making me very uncomfortable. By the way, I don't know that the juice of bringing it up is worth having to see you stand there with a broom.
Oh, juice, because JoJo rode to work on that. I see what you did there, John. Yeah, I'm on your side.
No.
And I'm pretty sure I got it from her office.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
I love you, JoJo. Sorry I said that.
No, I think we should keep one of these in here.
You
know what I mean? Because the studio is big enough, and it's like it doesn't have to be. I'm trying to think of another situation where it's like, okay, is there a broom available or a plunger available in a hotel room?
We do need a.
Like, it's not my job to plunge a toilet at work, but like if I had a plunger in vicinity and I needed that, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna take one for the team here.
I see
I
what
don't
you
want
did.
somebody.
Yeah, Drew did need a
plunging
plunger.
my stuff.
And if there would have been one there,
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I would have plunged.
It applies so much to so many situations.
Dude, the Bissell, I will say, I don't know how much work you've done in restaurants, but the old school Bissell would be perfect in here.
Yes, the one that's just the push thing. Yeah,
no
you're right.
batteries, no motor, no nothing.
You're right. That would be good.
Yeah. So
or we can go fancy in a Dyson dust buster
Shop vac.
thing. Yeah, it like has the attachment that you can do.
Is there?
Yeah, we got disposable money here. Yeah.
Well, John's got sponsorships by every jobber in the world. Like, why don't you get one of these sponsors of yours to give us a little electric vacuum?
Is there a portal where you can go in to the ladies who clean the building at night and be like, hey, we got an issue in the Bone studio?
Well, that's the problem. The issue is we have, and this has been an issue for a long time for us, and that's why we've run into things like a trash studio so often, or like trash overflowing is they come by during the day, and they're a daytime crew for this building. That's it.
Oh, nobody's here at night.
So nobody's here at night cleaning.
So they can't come in here when.
So when they can't come in when they're cleaning, and they used to come in at night, but when they came in at night only, we had programming live through midnight, and they were gone before midnight. So it was like they would always be interrupting a show. Now that we don't have the time, we don't have show at night. They could come in, but they're only here during the day.
So that's led you to having to be the one with the broom.
Now I'm the one
today.
sweeping up. I feel like I'm like at the Apollo.
Yeah, it feels very.
Get out of here, Bernie Mac.
It's really makes me feel very uncomfortable. But I agree. I once had when I was going through my management training at Ruby Tuesday, I had a regional manager that said, manage the restaurant through the Bissell. And he would tell me that if like you're out there working the Bissell, like you'll get to see everything you need to see, and you're also being productive. So I commend you for.
I used to
I used to work at Busch Gardens, and I had the tooth thing, they had like the pail and then the sweeper.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're missing right now is the pail.
Yeah, you got
you'd
the
walk
you got the
around
sweep-
and but I don't know. I look at this and I go, clearly there's a mess here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So if you are here, like if you're sitting in that seat, or if you're the cause of it, don't you go, oh man, I made a mess. I got to figure, or I got to send an email and say, hey, I don't know how I made such a mess, but could you help me get somebody to clean this up or something?
The real question is, did you have to walk by Mo napping on the couch to come in here with the broom and clean up his mess?
I did not see Mo napping on the couch, so he might not be there yet. But
sometimes he's very cozy. Sometimes you can't even see him.
Right,
He's
he blends
so,
right in.
He's so snuggled up that sometimes you can barely see him there.
He's re-up on his peanuts. That's why he's gone.
Here's a question I have though. If I did put like a nicer broom, one that maybe blended in with the background or something that's hidden, if you made that mess, would you go, okay, well, there's a broom there. I'll clean it up. Yeah. Or would it be
me or Mo? Is this question directed towards me or Mo?
We should.
Any of you.
If that much stuff fell out of my bag and I knew it, I would feel the need to clean it up.
Of course.
I would think.
I would look for tape, a piece of tape, and I'd go around and
that's good.
But this is me just problem solving here. And I can't expect that.
Dude, we really don't have any side work like before we leave.
Dude,
like,
I would love that.
What if we just had side work? You don't have to roll silverware or anything, but just give the floor a quick once over.
It's just like, Drew, you're on studio doors tonight, and then it's like Senning, you're on cleaning the boogers off of the console over here. And, dude, I think that's I
love it.
I'm in this studio enough to know, like, if you give it a once over look, you can tell if it's messy or not. Like, you can tell if it's messy or not.
Yep.
So, like, if that cup is there and then you leave and then that cup's still there, like, say it's like Ask the Dom brings in a bunch of people and there's like a coffee cup there for 4 days, like 8,000 people could sit and let that cup sit for a week.
That is the problem, is there really is no
sense of ownership.
Well, I think that's what everybody comes in. This is what we do. We should all feel some sort of
pride,
sense of ownership or something, but we all come in here and do our thing, and then we leave. Oh, there
we got
he is right
engineers
there.
on there.
Oh, man.
Here,
Mo, get on the mic like it's Mike's garage.
Dude, this is This is get on that mic. Get on mic 6, Mo.
God.
That one's
That's
broke.
5.
That one's broke. 6 right there.
What did
you do?
I have no idea what that is.
What do you mean? We already established the fact that
Hold on.
So embarrassed.
Hold on. Let me see something.
He's now looking to see if his peanut scraps are still in his bag. I thought you already owned up to it. Dude, I love this.
If you think for a
this
second,
is like a sideshow in here right now.
In your head, like, oh, there might be some peanuts in my bag. It was your fault.
Exactly.
Period. You don't have to let me see.
That's true.
Let's do a little forensic accounting.
Okay. Yeah, match the peanut shell to the debris on the floor. Yeah, that's you.
So you were cracking shells on the air and then leaning over and putting the shells into the garbage?
Yeah. This isn't Fenway, dog.
I have a peanut allergy.
All right, first off, all of the bottles and cups that I take off of that board when I get in here, and all of the garbage cans that I take from there and put out there, and the sign I put on the door out there.
No, you mean the bottles in the fridge you take and drink.
The guy say, hey, would you vacuum in here? Y'all gonna begrudge your brother on his birthday month for a couple of peanut shells?
It's my birthday year.
Peanut shells. The embarrassment.
Wait,
sorry.
So are you?
Yes.
So Mo is
Sweeping
now
another
saying
comedian off the Apollo.
He's been secretly been the one behind keeping the studio
Make way for
clean.
Sandman Sims over there, live from the Apollo.
Would you call me the Sandman?
No, Sandman Sims, the Apollo.
Okay.
Dude, what a way to wrap up. What a way to wrap up Senning Show.
What a way to wrap up my birthday month.
Exactly. Well, I'm sorry. I mean,
That's the last day.
I woke up to an email at 7:00 being accused of the things that you did. So I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
It hurts.
Drew Garabo Live is coming up next. I teased it, so I'll tell you. Sydney Sweeney and Tom Brady were totally canoodling all weekend long. Some saying they were dancing together until 2:00 in the morning. Will they be an item? Is he hitting that? It's yet to be determined. But don't go anywhere.
Getting things nice and tidied up for Drew Garabo Live.
This is absolutely crazy that John Brennan is
if only
sweeping,
Jason Meter were here.
And Mike Cernak is holding the dustpan for him. It's something you really have to see to believe.
Dan York is washing the windows outside. This is so great.
It's
Mike
out of
was going to
control.
put it back in his bag.
It's out of control. Do not go anywhere. Well, actually, don't go anywhere for a bunch of reasons. But first, we'd love to tell you about our good buddy, Jeff Borum.
Yeah, if your house is filthy and you need to move, Jeff Borum is your guy to find you a new one. In fact, he might have a qualified buyer for your home and you haven't even listed it yet. How is it possible? I don't know. I'm not Jeff Borum.
With all the people moving and leaving, a lot of areas were stormy and people got flooded out. This housing market is about as messy as the Bone Studio floor right now before John Brennan cleaned it up. That's why you need somebody that you can trust, and first and foremost, somebody that knows the area. Jeff Borum is from Tampa Bay. He knows the hot zips, the spots you're looking for. If you're buying or selling, you've got to go with Jeff Borum and Team Borum.
Team Borum, powered by eXp Realty. With Jeff, you've got options: buy your home, sell your home, or rent your home. He is our guy, and he'll be your guy too. BORHAM. Google him right now, and you could be packing tonight.
Don't go anywhere. Drew Garabo Live coming up next.
This is a warning. We got to get down to this place.
You're listening to Senning Show on 102.5 The Bone. We are Real Raw Radio. 102.5 The Bone. It's summer, and it's time for Bone, Beer, and Busch Gardens Summer Nights. Yes! Extended park hours, all-new summer-themed entertainment, the debut of Wild Oasis at Jungala, North America's most immersive kid-friendly adventure realm. And for adults, a full-service bar. And it's the return of free beer. Guests 21 and up can enjoy 1 free beer per visit to the park. And annual pass members can double the promotion and receive 2 complimentary beers per visit. For more information on this offer, guests can visit BuschGardensTampa.com. Enjoy Busch Gardens Summer Nights, now through August 10th. Listen to The Bone all week to win. And as always, head to the free 102.5 The Bone app for more chances to win. 102.5 The Bone. Real Raw Radio. Now, a Bone traffic update from the Farah and Farah Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center.
You'd do well to avoid the area in St. Pete.